Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Uh, Good afternoon. Yeah, welcome to welcome to class. Welcome to class. Uh, First of all, I know the number is low based on the fact that the class was it was just announced 3 hours ago, and also the fact that what was the name? It's on a working day. The fact that it's on a working day and around closing hours, so apparently most people will just be on their way home, be rounding up from work and all those things. So I understand. So I'm going to apologize for I'm going to apologize for announcing the class a little late. It's my fault and it's also not my fault. It's my fault because this decision could have been made earlier. Yes, it could have, because the advanced audit class was announced on Tuesday. So within that time, I could have found, or we could have found a balance within that period, so that this would have been announced earlier. But I was not around, and I told you guys I was traveling, so I was not around, and it was a whole lot. So went to attend to your seniors also, the ones that were doing inductions on Thursday. So it was a whole lot. So I had to like, so I could not. I didn't even have time to. So we just came into that we just spoke today, and we just came into that conclusion today. So I wanted to fix it tomorrow, but there were a lot of classes, or there are a lot of classes tomorrow, and the permission from Apex is no class you hold, all classes you end tomorrow. Nobody holds class on Sunday or anything. So there was no other way than to fix it now. The same way is not comfortable for you, the same way is not comfortable for me. But it's better for us to pass through all the uncomfortability now and pass. So that's why the class is stated for today. So very sorry that the announcement came late. I'm very sorry that it's happening like this. It's better to happen like this than not to happen at all. Abi, whether we are doing it like this, then we should not do it at all. Since they are recorded classes, so anybody that missed the classes or that missed the class can always go back to the recorded classes and watch. So that being said, once again, very sorry for announcing late and very sorry for having the class like this, but we must do what we have to do to make sure to hold this class. Yeah, I'm even tired of classes like this, like this. I don't tire to the hear on our voice. I'm not going to even lie. I want to go anyway. I want to go anyway. I'm tired of hearing people's voice. I'm honestly tired. I've been teaching since let me say, like back to back, maybe 2 years, like last year, back to back every day. It's like back, because now after these old classes, our accounting software classes. Okay, if you guys don't know, I think it would be passed. The announcement will pass very soon. Our accounting software classes is starting June 1st. That's how many days from now? That's 15 days from now. I will still teach for there again. She will not want to kill me. You even want to take my life. So we still do that particular training starting June 1st also. That one will last for about 1 month and few weeks. Before you know, that has started again. So that's why SFM used to start late. Because after this whole thing, okay, I just rest, I beg. So that's why I just want to finish today. Let me run away from you people. I'm tired. Are you even not tired of hearing my voice? Hmm?
We are not.
Are you not
For
tired of hearing
we
my voice?
No, we are not tired though. Who's tired?
I'm not tired though. How will you be tired?
We can't be tired.
That one.
It's nice hearing your voice again. We have missed the voice.
That your sweet voice, sir.
Yes,
Tired. I don't
which one be that?
hear any.
Which one be that? My sweet voice. If you are
Me
not tired,
personally, I'm
me,
tired.
Abio. Thank you, Jerry. As you are tired, I'm tired also. I'm tired of hearing your voice. I beg. Me, everybody go ahead, exam me, everybody rest. It's only the women that are not supposed to be tired of hearing my voice, but the men in the house, I beg, people should be tired. I'm tired of seeing people's face, not to talk of your voice.
Tired though.
Thank you very much. Yes, the class is being recorded. Thank you. My voice is soothing. No one, chapas. That's the cocoa. Anyways, thank you guys very much for coming. So this class should end say 7:30, yes, so that you guys can go for your advanced studies class by 8. So let's start. So okay, I was trying to wait for people, but I think this is 4:15. I think the number has increased about 100 in this class. Abi, this is 97, so we're close to 100. So I think I can comfortably start. If I teach 100 people out of, I think we're about 300 in the group. If I teach 100 comfortably, I think I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I think I'm very okay with it. So I think we can start. Please, permission to fire on, please. Time has gone.
Fire.
Go ahead.
There's even match. There's match. Man, you Chelsea by 8. People that are writing this icon exam, people are not enjoying anything. By 8 like this, me, I don't pack my bag. I they go and go watch ball. People
Man, you
can
know
watch
the
ball.
club now. If not the top club, we go watch.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Man is a club or man is not a club. You cannot watch it because you've been in advanced audit class. But me, I go there where they watch ball, sit down comfortably, no exam next week. Nothing. I just did chill. Are you not jealous?
Teasing us now. Stop teasing us now. God is watching
You go
you.
still watch now.
Definitely, we'll laugh at other people when they are coming.
No, you will laugh
God
at
is
other
watching
people.
you. This month will soon be over.
You go still watch, nothing do us.
Now turn by turn.
Abi, your life not turn by turn, no, Abi. If you go for ICANN induction, you will know that you understand the fact that it's actually turn by turn. It's not, nobody understands. It's just turn by turn. It's just turn by turn. I saw if a colleague of mine, somebody that we did skills together at the ICANN induction, it was skills, my first skills, and my first skills was, I think it was 2022. My first skills was 2022, May 2020. That was my first attempt of skills. The person, so that was the first time we met. So after then, we did not
I'm
speak. There
busy
was
now.
nothing. Then we just met at the induction. Then we met at the induction randomly. So the guy was like, how far now? The guy was trying to brag. How far now? You see, I'm like, how far now? Should you see the right exam? In my head, I'm like, is that a right question? Should you see the right exam? How now? I'm like, oh my brother, I don't qualify you. He was like, wait, what? Like, I don't qualify. I say when? I said, since now, maybe 2022 2023. That was like, oh wow. Oh wow. So if my senior colleague, I say, no senior colleague as BSc, BSc, there's no like senior ACA. Now only FCA I pass us. As a BSc, means BSc, so no senior colleague here. So that's just the joy about it. If you qualify now, you become my professional colleague. The fact that I taught you or not. I saw Mr. Kashmir also at the place. Mr. Dejon, all of them. We're all professional colleagues. Now only FCA pass us. So no last to come, no first to come. Chatter, Abi. No, I think the class is a lot now. So I think I can start. So I'm going to mute everybody. Let me start. Let me do my general recap. Then maybe we'll see what we can do from there. So let me mute everybody's microphone. Okay, so everybody's microphone is muted now. So if you want to say anything to me, you can use the chat box. Thank you very much. So based on our last meeting, so we finished everything that we were supposed to finish on our last meeting, but we could not touch about 2-3 topics, which was your adjusted present value, the international capital budgeting, and hedging generally. I'll come again. I said we could not do about 3 topics from our after meeting on our last class. So the 3 topics are adjusted present value, the international capital budgeting, and the hedging generally, both currency and futures. So I promised to do, I think we have a question in our question bank about adjusted present value. So I promise to solve that question, adjusted present value. If we have time, I'll give you international capital budgeting assignment. But I said that if we have time in the class, I'll solve a question also on international capital budgeting. If there is now time at the end, I'll do a brief analysis on hedging if there is time. But if there's no time, but the way the time is now, I don't think there will be time. Because this class is supposed to end 7 or 7:30. I don't think there will be time. So maybe I will just send a voice note for you guys later to listen to, maybe if it helps. So all those being said, so I'll start from adjusted present value. I will do a general recap on international capital budgeting. We'll solve our question on APV. We'll solve our question on international capital budgeting. Then if we have time, last, we'll also now we'll speak about hedging generally. Please, can you send me a reaction if you want me to, if I should continue with adjusted present value now? Thank you very much. I will not take questions now. Please, I'll take questions for later. Please, I think I have a lot to do. I'll take questions for later. I cannot fix any class again after today. After today, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done. Eh? Look, I fix class Saturday 9 p.m. You want to kill me? I'm done after today, please. I'm very, very done. You should go and read. I don't try, I beg. So let me start with adjusted present value. APV. Listen to me. People should leave chat box. People that I've noticed people you should focus more on chat box than listen to me. Leave chat box and listen to what I want to tell you. So now, adjusted present value, APV. This topic is one of the topics that students hate the most. Yes, students hate it the most. I used to hate it. I used to hate adjusted present value also. But the thing is, like I always tell you, every topic in financial management is simple. Every topic is simple. Just understand the basics and understand what we are trying to do. So we adjusted present value. Now, let me start from what brought about adjusted present value. First of all, adjusted present value came from the fact that people, okay, not me, but people that did this financial management or shareholders or everybody generally believe that when you do net present value, you know your net present value now. When you do your net present value, it is not taking proper account of the debt element of the financing of the debt financing effect. What I'm saying is, you know, when you do your net present value now, let's assume the capital structure of the business is they have 50-50 debt, 50 debt, 50 equity. I'm just saying 50% debt, 50% equity. You know, when you are doing your normal net present value, there is no point in your net present value that you account for that apart from your cost of capital. There is no part of your net present value where you account for the debt and you also account for the equity. There is no part in net present value. That's why adjusted present value now came that, okay, now that I want to invest in a business, and my financial risk is changing. People understand now your financial risk is changing. When my financial risk is changing, it means your debt to equity ratio is changing. Maybe you went to collect additional loan, you went to collect additional equity. It's changing. Why am I not accounting for it? Why do you have to tell me that I should only account for it in my cost of capital? And another thing is that even comes with adjusted present value is usually with adjusted present value, there's always a subsidized loan. There's always a subsidized loan. What I mean with subsidized loan is, let's assume you need 40 million or you need 50 million for your business. 1 minute, please let me, Miss Umi, are you there? I need somebody to keep me in line, please. The timing. Okay, Miss Umi, you are here. Thank you. I've seen you. So when it's 5 o'clock, I should be done with everything. So adjusted present value, I'll use 20 minutes. So that's 4:40. When it's 4:40, let me know. Then international capital bodies, I also use 20 minutes for the recap. So that should be 5 o'clock. Thank you very much. So Miss Umi, please keep me in check. Thank you. So I was saying that APV now came. I was like, okay, if I'm changing my financial risk, if I'm changing my debt to equity ratio, why am I not accounting for it? Why am I just accounting for it in my cost of capital? No, it cannot work. So give me a part where I account for these things. And also, like I said, APV always have subsidized loan. What does subsidized loan mean? I was saying that assuming you need 40 million for an investment or you need 50 million for an investment, government can come in and tell you that, okay, we like what you want to go and do. Maybe you want to go into real estate, you want to go into agriculture. We like what you want to go and do. How much you need? You need 50 million. Okay, out of the 50 million you need, let's just give you 20 million out of it. Let us give you 20 million out of it. Note, the 20 million that government is giving you, they're not giving you for free. There's nothing free, even in Freetown. They are not giving you for free. But what they will just do for you is they'll just tell you, instead of you going to the bank to go and collect it as maybe 6% loan, they can tell you to subsidize that particular loan for you and give you at maybe 2%, or it's always very lower than the normal borrowing rate. So they tell you, okay, they can give you at a 2% or a 3% loan. All those things does not happen with net present value. They don't happen with net present value. So in short, what I'm telling you is, in the proper question, once you see issue costs, you see subsidy or subsidized loan, you are seeing interest. First thing that comes to your mind is what? Adjusted present value. Let me come again. I said that in the proper question, once you see things like issue cost, you see things like subsidized loan, you see things like interest, what comes to your mind, or what should come to your mind, should be what? Adjusted present value. What do I mean by issue cost? For APV has an assumption that whatever, like the money you want to, the money you need, or the money you've raised, some costs were incurred to issue that money. Let me use a normal Nigerian scenario. If you want to collect money in bank, I'm just saying you need 40 million. You want to collect 40 million naira loan. I'm using a proper Nigerian scenario now. You need 40 million naira for a business. Try to enter bank and go and collect 40 million naira. My dear friend, between me and you and God, we know that in a Nigerian bank, and you enter that 40 million, it's not only that 40 million naira that you are going to collect out. You know now, you settle MD now, you settle the person that is going to plug, settle your account officer. You understand? You settle all those people were here. So that is what we actually call, that is not what a PV call issue. I'm just using that as a Nigeria example for you. But those are what comprise of your issue cost. The cost that you use to get the gross finance that you require, not necessarily bank loan. It could be from anywhere. It's just the cost that we're used to issue whatever finance you use. Now, let me come back to adjusted present value. Let me leave all those ones. Now, for adjusted present value, formula for adjusted present value is your base case MPV. Your base case MPV is your normal net present value plus or minus PV of financing effects. I come again. I said the adjusted present value is your base case MPV. Base case MPV, the same normal MPV will be calculated from your sales, less your variable cost, less your fixed cost. You get your cash flow before tax, you less your tax, your capital allowance. What's there again? Working capital, initial outlay, scrap value. Then you get your PV discounted. Here, you get your net present value. It's the same thing. The only difference is just that the only difference with that one and this one is for if it's adjusted present value, when you get to your discount factor, always discount with your cost of equity on geared. People know that one. I've mentioned that one like 3 billion times. This one I just mentioned, I will make it 3 billion and one time. I've mentioned it. Once you get to your adjusted present value, use your cost of equity on geared. That's why that's the only reason. That's the only difference with normal MPV. Use your cost of equity on geared. What do I mean by cost of equity on geared? You've gotten your, the first step now when you're using project specific, you're on gear. So that on gearing that you've on geared, whatever asset beta you have, go and put it in your CAPM formula and get your cost of equity. That is what you use for adjusted present value. Put it in your left hand, don't use it to eat. Oh. If you are using left, put it in your right hand. If you are the time that used to use the two hand to eat, use your left and your right hand. Maybe you should put it on your head. Or you used to use your head to eat too. Maybe you should put it on your leg or something. Just put somewhere you will not forget. That's my point. So I said that use your cost of equity on geared. So on gear the cost of equity, get your assets better. If asset beta is given to you in the question, all well and good, just carry the asset beta. Don't on gear again. No. People know these things I'm saying now. Always on gear. If it's equity better that is given to you in the question, on gear to get your assets better. Once you get your assets better, go and put your asset better in your CAPM formula. Get your cost of equity. But if the examiner wants to be nice and he gives you the asset better straight, you don't need to on gear again. They have on gear for you. Just pick it, put in your CAPM formula, and move on. That's that. So for adjusted present value, use your cost of equity on gear. That's the only difference with our normal base case MPV. Now let me now come to PV of financing effect. This is where you listen to me. Oh, you have not been listening to me before. If somebody is rubbing your chest, rubbing your tummy in this hot afternoon, tell the person to go away and listen to me now. So once you now get to that PV of financing effect, that's where there is work. PV of financing effect, there is work there. So what comprises of our financing effect? First of all, we have issue cost. Second of all, we have subsidy. Then they're not like third of all, but thirdly, we have interest. Now, listen. I said we have issue cost, we have subsidy, and we have interest. Now, for issue cost, listen to me. Question always determines what you do from here. Question, the way the question is structured, always determines what you do from here. Some questions will tell you that issue cost is on gross finance raised. Some will tell you that issue cost is on gross finance required. Now, let me explain the two differences to you. Difference between gross finance required and gross finance raised. Listen, oh. Let me tell you the difference between gross finance required and gross finance raised. Now, in my business, I want to go into an investment. Then I've noticed that, or what I've done was, I saw that, or you know that normally, let's say you want to do a business now. The business, what you require, what the business requires is 100 million. What the business requires for you to use is 100 million. That's usually your gross finance required. But why sourcing? Why running here and there? There's possibility that you get more than 100 million now. Let's say one of your generous friends decides to give you more than you asked for. So your gross finance raised can be different from your gross finance required. Usually higher. So you need 100 million for a project, then you're able to raise 150 million. So some questions will tell you that make your issue cost on gross finance required. Some will tell you that make it on gross finance raised. And how do you now get both gross finance required and gross finance raised? Anybody that is listening to me, that's the next thought that should be on your mind. Both gross finance required and gross finance raised. How do I get them? Now, for your gross finance required is in what you solved. It's usually your initial outlay plus your working capital. In your base case NPV that you solved, that's your gross finance required. I said is your base case NPV plus your what? Plus your working capital. That's your gross finance required. But if the question now says that it should be on your gross finance raised, not on gross finance required, what do you now do from there? You mark it up now. You mark it up. So what I'm saying is, imagine they tell you that, okay, 4% of issue cost should be on gross finance raised. In your question, your base case NPV, you already have gross finance required at say 50 million. Now, what do you now do? The formula, there's a formula teacher. So you can do, the formula is net amount over 100 minus issue cost rate. Net amount over 100 minus issue cost rate. People should stop telling me to share my screen. People should understand by now that nothing is showing on my screen. I just did download for you. So I said that 100 million, or sorry, the net amount, that's your gross finance required now. That's your net amount. Your gross finance required over 100 minus issue cost rate. Now let me paint a proper scenario. Say the business you want to do requires 50 million. Then they now tell you in the question that issue cost should be on gross finance raised. Issue cost of 4% should be on gross finance raised. And I told you that if you want to get your gross finance rate, is your gross finance required, which is 50 million in the question that you've calculated now. That's your initial outlay plus your working capital, 50 million. So you just do 50 million over 100 minus 4. That should be 50 million over 0.96. Then whatever you get, normally it should be higher than 50 million now. If anybody should do it, should be higher than 50 million. So that would be your gross finance raised. Now, that is one problem solved. Some wicked examiner can still go ahead and say that all other finances, anybody that was in my normal class APV, read that second question that we solved. It's an ACCA question. Read that second question that we solved. Some question can still now tell you that all other sources of finance, that is your subsidy and interest, should also be on gross finance raised. What I'm saying is some question can still say that all other sources of finance, that is your subsidy and your interest, should also be on your what? Should also be on your gross finance raised. Bam. Whatever you get for your gross finance raised, just go and use it for the rest. But if the question did not specify that, please always use your gross finance required. I don't know if I'm speaking grammar. I'm saying that if the question did not now say which one you should do, always work with your gross finance required. If it's only issue cost that is on, what I'm saying is, in some situation, it can be issue cost alone that is on gross finance raised, and the rest is on gross finance required. It depends on question. It's question that will structure that for you. Question can say the first one we solved, we were in my normal APV class. The first one we solved, there was no line, there was no additional information that states that all other sources of finance should be on gross finance raised. So we just use everything on gross finance required, apart from issue costs. I think issue cost was also even also on gross finance. I cannot remember anyways. But the question did not say that the rest should be on gross finance raised. So we just use our gross finance required. So the question really determines what to do from there. Please read the line very, very well. It can tell you that issue cost should be on gross finance raised. Then if the information stops there, then your interest and your subsidy should be on gross finance required. That's what I'm saying. Now, let me go to PV of financing effect, deep, so that you guys can even understand what we are trying to do there. You know, I told you that PV of financing effect is comparison of what? Issue cost, subsidy, and interest. Issue cost, subsidy, and interest. Now, I'm going to make it very, very simple for you guys. I'm going to make it very, very simple for you to remember. Now, for your issue cost, let me start from issue cost. The issue cost is 4% of gross finances or gross. I've explained that. So just get 4% of that figure. Bam, that's your issue cost. No problem. Issue cost is no problem with it. Just get 4% of that. Either is on gross finance required or gross finances. Just get it. And issue cost is an outflow now. You know you are incurring, so it's going to be negative. And it's going to be in bracket, since it's negative. Since it's since it's negative, so you bracket your issue cost. That's what I'm saying. Now, in other questions, I'm giving you all the possible scenarios you can see. In other questions, they can tell you that that tax is being paid or tax is being charged on issue cost. What I'm saying is normally you don't pay tax. You don't pay tax on the issue cost. But the question is a question that will determine. So in some questions, you can get a tax relief on issue cost. You can get a tax relief on issue cost. So if you get a tax relief on issue cost, don't panic. There's no problem. That issue cost that you've gotten, let's assume is maybe 10 naira or 20 naira. Just go and charge the current tax rate on it. That's what I'm just saying. If the current tax rate is 20% or 30%, just go and charge tax on that issue cost that you've done before. There's no problem with it. Just go and charge tax. Tax is 20%, tax is 30%. Just charge it on that issue cost that you've done before. That's all about issue cost. But that tax that you've gotten, but that tax, this is another place that that students can make mistake. That tax that you've gotten, that tax, no tax now. Once you charge the tax on it, it's going to be in bracket now. So it's going to be negative now. So at the end of the year, issue cost is supposed to be negative, supposed to be bracket normally. So that's for issue cost. We'll solve a question. You see what I'm saying? So that's for issue cost. The next one is for PV of interest. It's for PV of interest. If you have a pen there, if you have a note, you can write the steps down. If you have a note with you, I'm expecting everybody to have a note. You can write this down, or somebody can type it in the chat box for everybody to see. So if you want to get your PV of interest, the first step is to accumulate all interest elements. That's the first step. What do I mean by all interest elements? All interest elements, that is, that I told you that government can decide to subsidize the loan for you. So maybe they will pay out of the 50 million, say they will pay 20 million, but they will give you the 20 million at 3%. 3% in that one is an interest. So you will do 3% of 20 million or 50. Let me share my screen and write something down. The way they look me for this class, I don't like it. So let me share my screen there. Let me write it down so people can understand what I'm saying better. Trouble loading my feed. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. How I take this one now? I've told you, but I know when my students are confused. I know when people are confused. This one I said now, it has confused you people. It's not today now. It's experience. So I know when people don't understand what I'm saying. So that's why I know as now they look me. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. So this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the first step is to accumulate all interest elements. So I'm going to be using that 50 million as an example. So what you? So the first step is what you first say. So you're accumulating all interest elements. The money is 50 million now. So you're saying 50 million. Government said they will subsidize it now. The total money is 50 million. Government said they will subsidize it by so they will pay maybe 60% of it. Or I don't know the exact amount that will give you 20 million, but I'm just saying government said they will pay 60% of this 50 million times 60%. They said they will give you at 2%. Damn. This is the first interest. The second interest is still 50 million. It's still 50 million times 40%. 40% is the remaining balance now. That's the normal amount that you're going to collect in the bank. And bank is giving you at maybe 5%. So whatever you get here, those are your interest elements. Add them together. Bam. I don't know if I'm making sense. So add them together. That's the first step. Add all your interests together. So after you added all these interests together, next thing you will now do now is you have a figure here. So whatever figure you have, you're now going to do tax savings on it. Whatever figure you get from here, you're going to do what? You're going to do tax savings on the addition. So you do tax savings on it. What do I mean by tax savings? Interest now. You pay tax on interest. Tax is an allowable. What's the name? You pay tax on interest. That's what I'm saying. So if your tax is 20% or 30%, so you do 20% or 30% of whatever figure you get from all this. So 50% times 50 million times 60% times 2%, you get a figure. 50 million times 40% times 5%, you get a figure. So whatever figure you get, you do your tax on it. Then don't forget what we are trying to do is PV of financing effect, present value of financing effect. So you do present value of interest, you do present value of subsidy, you do present value of issue cost. So don't forget we finish issue cost, so we are on interest. So you've done the total interest, you've charged your tax on it, you now do PV of the interest. You now do present value of the figure of the interest you've gotten. Now, how do you now do present value? The present value you will now get, you will discount. What do you discount with? Please don't discount your PV of financing effect with your cost of equity. Oh. Are you listening to me? Don't discount your PV of financing effect with your cost of equity. What do you now discount it with? Please always discount your PV of financing effect with your cost of debt. I don't talk the one way, no. Always discount your PV of your financing effect with your cost of debt. Don't discount it with your cost of equity. And cost of debt in this situation is the amount you want to go and collect from bank. Is the rate that bank wants to give it to you. It's not the one that government wants to give it to you. It's the cost of debt, fine, but it's not the cost of debt. That one is being reduced now. So just discount your PV of financing effect to your cost of debt. So with this example I've given you now, cost of debt is 5%. So just do annuity now. Do annuity 5 years or 4 years, 5 years, depending on number of years. Then discount it with your what? With your cost of debt in this particular scenario. Discount it with your cost of what? With your cost of debt. Then whatever figure you have, that's your PV of your what? That's your PV of interest. Then the last one is your PV of subsidy. How do you do PV of subsidy? The first step to do PV of subsidy is to determine the amount attributable to subsidy. The amount that government is actually subsidizing for you. In this particular scenario that I've given you, it is 60% or 50 million. 50 million is the total amount. Now government wants to subsidize 60% for you. So it's 60% of 50 million. That's the total amount. That's the net amount attributable to subsidy. That's the amount you are saving on subsidy. That's the amount that government wants to subsidize. That's the amount that government wants to subsidize it for you. After you've gotten that amount, you will now do tax savings on subsidy. You do tax savings on subsidy. Before you do tax savings on subsidy, thank you very much, Mr. Me. Before you do tax savings on subsidy, you do your normal borrowing rate, 5%. Subtract it from the subsidized rate. That's in this situation is how much? Subsidized rate is 2%. The interest from bank is 5%. So 5% minus 2%, it gives you what? 3%. So the next thing you now do is the subsidized rate, which is 60% of 50 million, whatever figure you've got, times 3%, which is the savings on subsidy now, times 1 minus tax rate. This is what I'm saying. People always look when I blow grammar. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is subsidy now. Bam, let me come here. Say government is subsidizing 60% for you now. So 60% times 50 million. You get a figure now. Bam. Whatever figure you get, you just come here. You now say government is subsidizing it for you at the normal borrowing rate is 5%. You now say 5% minus 2%. That's the government normal borrowing rate minus your what? Subsidy rate. Whatever figure you get, you will now come here. You will now say 3%, which is whatever you got from here, multiplied by this figure. What is 50% of what is 60% of 50 million? Let me assume 30 million. I'm assuming, I don't know the exact figure it is. 60% of 50 million. Let me assume it's 30 million. So 30 million times 1 minus tax rate. Please always charge your subsidy post tax. So you now do 1 minus tax rate. So this is you just getting the tax savings on subsidy. Because government is giving you money now does not mean you will not pay tax on it now. Because they are subsidizing the money for you, does that mean you will not pay tax on it? You pay tax on it now. You will pay tax on it. So you just do your post tax. So once you are done, whatever figure you get, you're not going to do present value of it. You're not going to do PV of subsidy. You're not going to do PV of subsidy. So the PV of subsidy now is still the same. So just the discount factor you use for interest is still the same thing. Discount it with your cost of debt. Use your annuity formula with the number of years. Then you get your PV of subsidy. So once you get your PV of subsidy, add your PV of subsidy to your PV of interest. But don't forget that your PV of your issue cost will be in negative. So subtract your PV of your issue cost from it. Whatever figure you get, if it's addition, if it's positive, add it to your base case NPV. If it is negative, you rarely get negative. I don't think you ever get negative. But if it's negative, subtract it from your base case NPV. But it's rare, you cannot get negative. You most likely get positive. So, and if your base case NPV is negative, add it to your, subtract it from your base case NPV, depending on whatever answer you get. There's no real figure here. So I'm just giving you scenarios of what you can, of what it could be. I'm just giving you scenarios of what it could be. So That is just that's basically all you need to do with adjusted present value. Adjusted present value is simple. There's no problem to it. So let me run through the PV of financing effects for the last time. The first one is your issue cost. So your issue cost. So if the question says it should be on your gross finance required or your gross finance rate, determine your gross. I've taught you how to determine your gross finance rate now. So determine which one it is, get that figure, charge your issue cost on it. Bam. Issue cost is always in negative. It's always in bracket. So it's always like an outflow. So whatever figure you get, put it in jacket. If the question says you should charge tax on your issue cost, bam, go and charge tax. Depending on the tax rate, charge tax on that figure you got. It's still going to be negative. So keep it negative. Bam, that's issue cost. No problem with issue cost. The next one is PV of interest. If it's for interest, the first thing you do is what is your total borrowing? You need 50 million. Fine. Bam. How much are you? What is the rate? What is the charging rate? Government has said they will subsidize 60% of it for you. Fine. What is 40%? So that means you are going to the bank to collect 40% now. Abi, since government is subsidizing 60% for you, it means the normal borrowing you need now is 40%. And so you now calculate the total amount now. So you do 60% of 50 million, keep the figure somewhere. 40% of 50 million, keep the figure somewhere. What we are trying to do is I want to know the amount of interest I'm paying on the amount of money I'm collecting from the bank. I don't know if I'm making sense. I want to know the amount of interest I'm paying on the amount I'm collecting from the government. But I cannot charge that particular interest on the total money now, since it's not the total money I'm collecting from bank. I can also charge on total money since it's not total money that government is giving me. So you will now calculate the amount that government is giving you, separate the amount that you are collecting from the bank, separate the interest that you are collecting from the bank, charge it on the amount you are collecting from the bank. That is 40% of 50 million. That's the amount you are collecting from the bank. Their interest rate 5% in this scenario. Charge 5% on that amount. You get a particular interest. That's the amount of interest you are paying to the government. For subsidy, there's a particular subsidized rate that government has given you. That particular subsidized rate, charge it on the amounts that government is giving you, get a particular interest. Now add the two of them, those two figures, add it together. That's the total interest you are paying for that particular amount, for that particular loan of 50 million. That's what that interest you are paying. So bam, that particular figure you've had, you will now do tax savings on it. The difference between tax savings of interest and tax savings of subsidy is that for the tax savings of subsidy, you are doing it post-tax. That is, you are doing 1 minus tax rate. But for the one of interest, you are charging the tax directly. So whatever figure you've gotten for tax, just charge your 20% on that particular figure. You get another figure. I don't know the figure you will get, so you shall get a figure. But that figure you will get, after that, you're not going to discount that last figure you've had. After charging your tax rate on it now, you're not going to do the PV of the interest. And the PV now, like I've told you before, it should always be used the cost of debt with the number of years, use your annuity formula, then you get a PV of that interest. That's for interest. Then lastly, for subsidy, you are basically just dealing with subsidized loan. So first step is you first go and get the amount that government is subsidizing for you. In this particular scenario, that's 60% of 50 million. But keep that one somewhere. Now, another thing is you're not going to get the amount you are saving on subsidy. Amount you are saving, that is, initially you're supposed to go and collect this money from bank at 5%, or the 50 million. You're supposed to go and collect at 5% from bank, but government has now said, okay, they'll give you at 3 or at 2%. So you are gaining what? So there's savings of 3%. That's 5% minus 2%. So there's a savings of 3%. So that 3%, you go and charge it on the amount that government is subsidizing it for you. Do it post-tax. After that one, you now charge your post-tax on it. That's the 1 minus tax rate. Whatever figure you get, you do the PV of the net subsidy. Still the same thing. Discount with your cost of debt, use your annuity and the number of years. So whatever figure you've got, that's your PV of financing effect. Then your base case MPV, your PV of financing effect will be positive. I don't think it will ever be negative because the issue cost will be small. Then if you had the PV of financing effect, if you had the PV of interest and your PV of subsidy, it should be negative. So it should be positive, sorry. So all the figure you should get for your PV of financing effect should be positive. But your base case MPV, you guys know, you can either have a positive net present value or you can have a negative net present value. If it's a negative net present value, negative ahead, and add your PV of financing effect to it, you get a figure. Whatever figure you have is your adjusted present value. The decision for adjusted present value is the same decision for net present value. If it is positive, accept. If it is negative, reject. So for the next 2 minutes, let me take a few questions. Please, if you have a question to ask me on APV that I just said now, please ask me. Fast. Next 2 minutes. Please just up your hand if you have questions to ask me, please. Fast. Next 2 minutes. Oh, yeah. So let me unmute your mic so that I can call you. So, Aishat, please ask me.
All right,
Yeah.
sir. So, yeah, if we have a question in the sense that for the subsidized loan, we were told that there's an issue cost on subsidized loan, and so for us to calculate the subsidized loan itself, are we going to use the gross amount or use the net amount in calculating the subsidized loan, the interest saved on subsidized loan? I
Come
don't know if
again.
my
If they say
question is
what?
clear. Okay, let me come again. I mean that if you are giving a grant from government, and we're also giving an issue cost on that government grant. So for us to calculate our subsidized loan, how are we going to calculate it? Are we using the net amount or the gross amount?
It depends. It depends on what the question asks you to use. Now, the question would be stated if it should be on the gross finance haste or gross finance required. And I said it at the beginning. If the question does not specify, use your gross finance required. Listen to me, oh. If the question did not say that this should be on your gross finance raised, if the question is silent, use gross finance required. But issue cost can also be on subsidized loan, definitely. It can be on subsidized loan. So it depends on what the question says. The question says issue cost should be on gross finance raised or gross finance required. It depends on what the question says, honestly. There's no particular format to it. It depends on the structure of the question. All these things I've said, our question on our APV, I don't think it's even anything like anything I've said. So you might have to go and watch if you want to get this, I don't think this question is simple. But you want to go and get the simple ones, go back to our adjusted present value question that I've solved for you guys before. So I think somebody sent the capital budgeting decision notes to the group chat and the working note, or somebody should just go to the adjusted present value. You see I think about 2 questions there, then you see the solutions. Those ones are simpler than the ones I want to do today, or the ones that we have in our question bank. So you can start from there so that you understand the line of the question. Thank you very much. Isiak, please talk to me fast. We are. Okay, Miss Chika, your question, please.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay,
Good afternoon,
Mr.
sir.
Isaac, I can hear you now.
Please, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Please, I have just a little clarification on the step on issue costs. You gave us some step on finance, subsidy and interest. Just can you enlighten more on issue cost?
There's nothing on issue cost. Issue cost is just you taking the issue cost. If the issue cost is on, they will give you the percentage of the issue cost in the question. If they say it's on gross finance risk or gross finance required, just charge it on the gross finance. If it's gross finance required, the gross finance required is your initial outlay plus your working capital. Just charge your issue cost on it. If it's 4%, charge it on it. Bam, that's your issue cost. It's always in jacket, it's negative. But if the question still goes ahead and say they charge tax on their issue cost, just take the tax rate, charge it on that issue cost that you've gotten. Bam, then you get the tax rate. Then it's still going to be in negative. Subtract that figure from the figure you have before. It's just normal charging of your tax now, then you get your issue cost. But most questions, there's no usually tax relief on issue cost. What I'm saying is, if they tell you that the question can say that, God of mercy, you need to solve more questions so that you can understand most of the things the question can say. If the question says there's a tax relief on issue cost, listen, if they say there's a tax relief on issue cost, if it's tax relief, it means that you're supposed tax relief will be positive now. Abi, it says a tax relief. That means that it will be positive. So that's it now. And your issue cost, let's assume your issue cost was already 100 million. And you want to do your tax rate 30% of 100 million would have been 30,000. So what you will now do is 30,000. So you now be negative 100 million plus 30,000. It's a relief now. So that figure is supposed to reduce plus 30,000 here. So depending on the structure of the question. But that's all on issue cost. Just charge the interest, just charge the issue cost rate on the either gross finance required or the gross finance or the gross interest.
On a real life scenario, all this management, maybe you went to bank to go and borrow money, all this management fee, processing fee, can we call it issue cost?
You can. But the problem is it needs to be in percentage. It needs to be a particular
Yes,
percentage of the gross. Let's say the total amount after you added it together now. Say maybe you pay management this one, so make it a percentage of the total money of the gross finance required. So
okay.
thank you, Miss Chika. Fast.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Prosper, you
You've
want to tell
answered
me?
the question I wanted to ask you.
Oh, okay. Prosper, last question. That's the last question I'm taking. Prosper,
Sir,
I'm with you.
no
Talk to me. You
question.
want to?
I said, no question, no.
Okay, your hand is up anyway. Miss Aisha, your hand is also up. Please, can you even put your hands down? So basically, those are that's practically everything on adjusted present value. That's basically all about. But like I'm just explaining with mouth. It's always easy when I explain it with mouth. Please go back. Somebody should send the capital budgeting decision notes to the group chat with the working solution. So please go back, check the questions I've solved on adjusted present value, see the way I solve them, read the questions. It's easy so that you can understand better. Because the one I'm going to solve today is a little different from those ones. So go and solve. And I thought this one I want to solve. I heard that is the only adjusted present value question that has not been tested in Mr. Omolenyiwa's book. That's why I decided to put it there. That's why, in case it wants to come out, people can fall victim. And it's actually a little complex. According when I read it yesterday, it's actually a little, that's why I kept it there. So please, but check the ones I've solved. Those ones are still a little basic compared to this one I will solve today. So before I go to international capital budgeting, Mr. John, your question, please, real quick. I need to move. John Ogunle, you want to tell me something? Okay. So let me move to international capital budgeting. So I'm going to mute everybody's mic again while I explain that real quick. So first of all, what do I mean by, or what do we mean by international capital budgeting? Now, or why do we do international capital budgeting? We do international capital budgeting because in some scenarios or in most scenarios, some people do businesses in Nigeria. Why maybe you don't have a subsidiary in another country, say India, say UK, say Canada, say US, you can have a subsidiary country there. Now the problem is they make profit in those countries. Abi, once they make profit, those profit needs to return to the parent company now, or those parent. And why trying to return to the parent company? You cannot. They make their own in their own currency. So those profits cannot make sense because it's not in our own currency. So that's why we do international capital budgeting. Because imagine I want to go and value a business. I want to go and value a business, or I want to go and value a business in Canada or in US or in UK, in another country. If I want to use most of their items, their sales, their variable costs, their fixed costs, their tax, and all those things, it will be in their own currency now. So I need to do some exchanges, some things here and there. So I have four elements, or four basic elements, or four basic things that comprise international capital budgeting. First, I have exchange rate. Please, I cannot write. People show me. If you want to jot, you can jot. First, I have exchange rate. Second, I have taxation. Thirdly, I have transfer pricing. Then the last one, I have what we call control. Basic control. It's called control. So let me start from exchange rate. Before I go to exchange rate fully, there are some things I call, okay, in exchange rate, don't forget, what is the meaning of exchange rate? Exchange rate simply just means the value of one currency in relation to another currency, basically. The value of one currency in relation to another currency. Everybody shout, dollar don't go up, dollar don't rise, dollar don't kinikon. Before you go to the market, this one is already expensive, the dollar don't rise. Everybody knows dollar rates now, even market women. They know our dollar don't rise. They know when dollar don't go up more than financial more than financial managers. And it's what in dollar don't rise. So like basically what they are saying is basically exchange rate. Now, presently, as I yesterday, I think it was $1,635 to give you 1 naira. Abi. Now let me explain something. In that particular thing I just said, 1 naira to give you $1,635. No, sorry, $1 to give you 1,635 naira. Abi. Yes, now $1 will give you 1,635 naira. That thing I just said now, there are a lot of things involved. First of all, there is a quotation involved. Second of all, there's a type of currency involved. When I mean quotation, or first of all, when I mean type of currency, we have what we call base currency, and we have what we call what? And we have what we call counter currency. We have what we call base currency, and we have what we call counter currency. Now, in this situation, I said $1 equals to what? 1,635 naira. In that particular case, the one that carries the invisible one, in every quotation, there's always one that has one. There has to be one now. One naira, it needs to be equal to something, or one particular one unit of one currency needs to be equal to another unit of another currency, no matter how. So there's always an invisible one. One of them has to have one. You see that one that has one at the back is what we refer to as what? As our base currency. See what I'm saying? Let me put it into screen. What I'm saying is, you always have, say, $1 equals to 1,635 naira, like this. So there's always an invisible one in every currency quotation. It can be $1 will give you an amount of another currency. €1 will give you another currency. Exactly. So there's always an invisible one to every currency. So you see, this one that has invisible is what we refer to as what? As base currency. Is what we refer to as base currency. The one with the invisible one is referred to as base currency. So you see, this other one is referred to as counter currency. Please learn these terminologies very well. This other one is referred to as what? As counter currency. Now let me go to quotation. Why quotation? I also have what we call direct quote and what we call indirect quote. I said we also have what we call direct quote and indirect quote. For a direct quote happens when when one unit of the home currency gives you multiple units of the foreign currency. Please, if you need to write it down, please write it down. I said direct quote is when one unit, just one unit of the home currency can give you multiple units of the foreign currency. I hope that is gotten. Or I'll come again. I said for a direct quote is when one unit of the, did I say foreign or home currency? Let me come again. Please listen to me. Let me take the one I said. Please, what did I say earlier? Let me correct that. Can somebody write what I said earlier? Can somebody write it in the chat box so I will know what I'm saying? It's 5 p.m. Thank you, Miss. Thank you very much, Miss Ome. Can somebody write what I said in the chat box, please? Let me know if I need to correct something. Okay, listen to me. Direct one unit of the. Okay. I think I get it now. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me come again. When you are doing a direct quotation is example of a direct quotation. Let me give you an example of a direct quotation. Example of a direct quotation is what I wrote now. That $1 equals to 1,635 naira. That's example of a direct quotation. So what that should mean is one unit of foreign currency is expressed in multiple units of the home currency. Sorry, let me correct myself. One unit of the foreign currency is expressed in multiple units of the what? Of the home currency. That's direct quote. That is a direct quote. Direct quote is when one unit of the foreign currency is expressed, or it gives you multiple units of the what? Of the foreign currency. About the blue grammar. 1,000, what's the name now? $1 will give you 1,635 naira. That is a direct quote. One unit of the foreign currency is giving you multiple units of. We are in Nigeria now. I mean, I don't travel out. We're all in Nigeria now. Yeah, so I'm assuming our home currency, our home country is Nigeria. Our home currency is Nigeria. So once one unit of the foreign currency gives you multiple units of the home currency, that is a direct quote. That is a direct quote. And indirect quote is the other way around. Indirect quote is when one unit of the what? When one unit of the home gives you multiple of the foreign. That is a direct quote. That's an indirect quote. So example of what I said now. So the way this 1,000, the way this $1 gives you 1,620, this is a direct quote. This is a direct quote. So if I want it to be indirect, I will now say God will help us. So I will now say one, so I'll now say 1 naira equals to $1,623. This is an indirect quote. This is an indirect quote. Is it fine? For this one unit of the foreign currency will give you multiple units of the home currency. That is a direct quote. For indirect quote, 1 unit of the home currency will give you multiple units of the foreign. Is the other way around. That's an indirect quote. Anyways, now that is that for that. I've explained base currency. I've explained counter currency. For example, this is anyone that has one, anyone that carries the invisible one is the base currency, while the other is the counter currency. So example, for this one now, dollar is the base currency, while naira here is the counter currency. Now let me go to exchange rate in full. Now we have what we call spot rate. Spot rate is the rate as at today. As at now, that's what we call spot rate. But the thing is, nobody knows the rate that would be next year. Nobody knows what the rate will be in the next 2 years. And when we want to appraise our investment, they are usually in number of years. Say year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. They are usually in number of years. How do we now determine the rate in the next 2 years, the rate in the next 3 years, the rate in the next 4 years? That is where prediction of exchange rates comes in. There are about 3 ways or 4 ways that we can predict our exchange rate. I'll start by, I said there are about 3 ways or 4 ways in which you can predict our exchange rate. I'll start by the first one, which is our purchasing power parity. There's a formula. Purchasing power parity. We also have what we call interest rate parity. You have purchasing power parity, you have interest rate parity. For purchasing power parity has to do with inflation. It has to do with inflation. So formula for purchasing power parity is your S1. Let's assume I'm trying to predict for year 1. So your rate for year 1 equals to your spot rate, that is rate as of today, multiplied by 1 plus, is it inflation? Inflation of domestic over 1 plus inflation of foreign. Domestic currency and foreign currency, that's what I'm saying. Domestic and foreign. Like I said, purchasing power parity has to do with inflation now. So they would have given you inflation for domestic, they would have given you inflation for foreign. They would have given you inflation for domestic, they would have given you inflation for foreign. All those ones will be given to you in the question. So what you will now do, we are trying to get our rate for year 1. So I said the formula is spot rate. For now, our spot rate is 1,623 multiplied by 1 plus inflation for domestic over 1 plus inflation for what? Inflation for foreign. We'll get our spot rate for year 1. We'll do the same thing for year 2. We'll do the same thing for year 3. We'll do the same thing for year 4, depending on the number of years. Now, this one I explained to you, that formula I gave you, which is 1 plus interest of domestic over 1 plus interest of foreign. That is for a direct quote. This is why you need to know quotation. That is for when the question is for a direct quote. But when it is for an indirect quote, it is the other way around. For an too many informations today. It is for an indirect, don't forget, this is a revision. I'm expecting you guys know these things already. But if it's an indirect quote, it's the other way around. So if it's an indirect quote, it becomes SO times 1 plus interest of foreign. Foreign now comes up over 1 plus interest or inflation of domestic. That's for indirect quotes. So it's just the other way around. Is this way? So just the other way around for direct and for indirect quotation. Nothing too much. So we can either have purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity has to do with inflation, while interest rate parity has to do with interest. It's the same formula. The only difference is where you are doing inflation of foreign. For interest rate parity, it's interest rate that will be given to you. So just substitute that inflation for interest. So they are giving you inflation rate or interest rate. Anyone, just put it in the purchasing power parity or the interest rate parity. That's for that. Last method is, this one is not formula, but it's just grammar. They can say that this one is based on strength and weakness. So what I mean by strength and weakness is they can tell you that, imagine they tell you that, okay, let's say tomorrow there's just a news that says that, okay, let me unmute my mic. Let me unmute everybody's mic and ask a general question here. So I'm going to unmute everybody's mic and ask a general question. So listen to me. My question is, now, imagine they say that tomorrow now they say that they just released the news that they say that the naira, I'm going to say the naira is already strengthening. Listen, they come tomorrow and say the naira is already strengthening or strengthened. against the dollar. What does it mean? Let me come again. They say the naira is already strengthened against the dollar. Now, my question is, if they say naira is strengthened against the dollar, do I need more naira? Do I need more value of naira to get $1, or do I need less value of naira to get $1? Let me come
Less,
again.
Less value.
You need
Less
less.
value.
Let's
Less
naira to
value.
You need more value of naira to get dollar.
You see, I
No.
don't hear more value.
Less
Listen,
value.
can you calm
Need
down? Let me come
less.
again. One house, please. Let me say let me say the scenario again. This please help me with your mic. The question is, they say that the naira is strengthened against the dollar. It means that naira now has more power against the dollar. Now, my question is, do I need more value of naira to get $1, or do I need less value of naira to get $1?
Less.
Less value of naira.
Less value
Less value.
Less
to get
value.
let's value of
more
naira.
value.
You always need less value now. You can never need more value. According to that particular scenario, they say naira is strengthening. It means that the value of naira has gone up. Let's see what we are saying. What we are saying is, imagine that.
Power.
So what they are saying is, okay, before it was 1,000, as of now it was 1,000, is 1,065 naira to give you $1. They now say that value of naira has strengthened. We have gained more power in the market. So what it means that 1,065 naira, it will come down now. Now we have more power. We cannot be using more value again, and so we'll now use less value. So that 1,635 can come to maybe 1,615. What it simply means is it can go the other way. And now but that's for example purpose. But for me and you, now me and you in this our country, nobody will tell you that dollar has strengthened or anything. Or what they will not tell you that how do you used to say it? Dollar don't fall. Is that not what we used to say? Dollar don't fall. Dollar don't fall. That's what they would. Because what they are saying is
naira don't
that
weak.
dollar don't fall. That dollar don't fall. We they don't talk. That they are saying that dollar don't fall. It's simply the other way that naira are strengthened. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's just the other way around. That's what they are saying. If the naira is strengthened, automatically means that dollar has weakened now. The two currencies cannot strengthen at the same time. One has to be for one. If naira is strengthened, it means that the value of dollar has weakened. The two of them cannot happen at the same time. So, so once you hear them say that dollar don't fall, it means that naira has gained more strength. So it now means that you now need less amount of naira to get one value of dollar. But in an icon scenario, they will just tell you that the naira has strengthened by 5%. Bam, problem has happened for students. They say that naira has strengthened by 5%. So what they are expecting you to have done now is if you tell you that has happened, they are expecting you to reduce the value of naira by 5%. Yes, now what I'm saying is let me go to this. Let me go to this my material to make those are working on. Now look at this particular scenario now. 1,000. Let's say okay, as of now is 1,620. The question now says that the naira has strengthened by 5%. The naira has strengthened by 5%. What this means is this 1,623. It needs to reduce so that you use less value to get one naira. So what do you now do? So it has weakened by 5%. So what do you now do? So you do 5% of 1,623, then you less it with it. What's 5% of 1,623? What's 5% of it? Oh yeah.
81.15.
It's 1.15. So you now subtract 1,623 from 81. What do I have?
1,441.85.
1,441.45. That is our rate for year one. So what it means now is you need 1,400 naira to get $1. That is the dollar has strengthened. The dollar has gained more power. And it can come the other way. They can tell that the naira has weakened. If naira has weakened, it means that what dollar has gone up. If naira has weakened, it means dollar has strengthened. And if dollar has weakened, it now means that you now need more value of naira to get $1. So if it's 5%, it goes the other way. So you do 5% of 1,623 and raise it by it, or you do 1.05 times 1,623. It goes the two ways. So those are basically the ways that they can hide your exchange rate. Those are the ways that you can predict your exchange rate year 1, year 2, year 3 exchange rate. Those are the ways. Then another thing is taxation. Apart from the fact that tax can be paid in arrears, tax can be paid in advance, there's also a very, very big issue with taxation. The issue with taxation is, you know that Nigeria now, I think Nigeria, UK, Nigeria, US, Nigeria, Canada, I don't know about other countries. I think we have what we call tax treaty. What tax treaty means is that to avoid double, people do advanced tax now, to avoid double taxation, if they are charging tax there on a particular company, it does not make sense to charge tax in is one single company. Now. It does not make sense for them to charge tax in UK, now come to Nigeria. It's the same profit now. Don't forget that is our subsidiary that is in UK or that is in US. So now they have made a profit there. It's still the same profit that they made there that they are bringing to Nigeria now. So it does not make sense for them to charge tax there and also charge tax here. It's double taxation now. That's why there's always taxation treaty. So what do you now do? So once there's a taxation treaty between their own country and our own country, there's no problem. So once they've charged tax there, we will not charge tax again. But there's an exemption. There's an exemption. The exemption is, so I'm going to paint the scenario. Imagine that our tax rate in Nigeria is 30%. Then the tax rate in UK is 40%. Listen, no. Imagine the tax rate in UK is 40%. Then the tax rate in Nigeria is 30%. That profit that is coming to Nigeria, they would have, Miss Saman, please, your microphone. Let me go back to meeting. This is why I don't like to meet anybody. This thing is not hard now. Now, wow. Later, now somebody will come and say I should leave everybody mic muted, that they are not following. See example of what just happened now. Anyway, as I was saying, I said that imagine that Nigeria's tax rate is 30%, then UK's tax rate is 40%. In a scenario like that, that particular profit would have been charged 40% in UK. Fine. But because our own tax rate is lesser than it is assumed that all our tax has been consumed with that particular tax rate. I want to break that grammar. It's assumed that their own is 40 now. So there is no need to pay additional tax. So it's assumed that our own 30% has been consumed in their own 40%. So there's no need to pay additional tax. If the tax rate is 30%, it's fine. If it's 30% here, 30% there, it's fine. No need to pay additional tax. But in a scenario where our own tax rate in this part of the world, in Nigeria, our tax rate is 30%. But in UK, their tax rate is 20%. Listen, where our own tax rate is 30%, but in UK, their own is 20%. You know that the tax rate that they have charged there, it would have not consumed our own tax. 30 is bigger than 20 now. Is 30% not bigger than 20%? It's bigger than it now. So it's assumed that the old 20% has not been consumed, it has not been paid fully. So they will charge their own 20% there. But when it comes here, we will charge only 10%. I don't know if I'm making sense. The first scenario is that their own. 1 minute, please. Sorry, 1 minute, please. The first scenario is that their own tax rate is 40%. Our own tax rate is 30%. So the assumption is that our 30% would have been consumed in their own 40%, while the tax is being charged in UK. That's the assumption, that they would have accounted for our own 30%. Everybody has paid. Everybody's fine. If it's 30-30, fine. But in a scenario where in their own is 20%, and it has been charged 20% there, and our own tax is 30%, it does not make sense. So when it comes here, our own 30% has not been consumed in their own 20%. It's still remaining 10 now. So that additional 10 that has not been consumed, when it gets to Nigeria, you will be charged additional tax rates of 10%. I hope that's clear. That's all about taxation. The next one is transfer pricing. Transfer pricing is just basically you transferring goods or transferring money between the two organizations or between the two subsidiaries. So imagine now, say I pay, or royalties basically, it's basically royalties that come from that. So imagine I want to pay royalty to my company in UK, to the subsidiary in UK. Don't forget that I'm going to pay in Naira now, and it's an outflow for me. But when it gets to their own country, it will be converted to their own money, and it serves as inflow for them. So the figures will be different, definitely now, because conversion would have happened, but it's still the same royalty. Yes, now, if I pay somebody 100, I always feel like I'm looking at people's face, and I'm saying how confused people are. What I'm saying is, imagine I'm paying another company, I'm paying the company in US 100,000 naira from here. In my own books, it will serve as an outflow for me now, and it will be 100,000 naira. But when it gets to their own country, will it still be 100,000 naira? No, now it will be converted to dollar now. So with the exchange rate, with the spot rate you've calculated, so you'd have calculated it, so it will be in their own figure, but it will be an inflow for them because it's coming in. But for me, it will be an outflow. I think it's clearer now. So that's about transfer pricing. Last one is control. Basically, this does not have any effect on our stuff, but like basically, it's just the way most of these organizations control how to control to not pay tax. It's just the way that they control to not pay tax. A very good example is what we call think capitalization. My tax people is what we call think capitalization. Think capitalization is when an organization has more debt. So I'm already teaching people tax also. It's when an organization has more debt than when they have a large sum of debt in their capital structure. Accountants, people know what you used to do now. Me and you know the way we used to increase our debt structure so that interest, so that you will pay interest, so that you pay more interest on that debt now. You know that when you pay interest is an item of an expense now. So you will reduce your profit so that you will pay less tax. People know these things now. You know the way we used to pattern it. So it's still the same person. Let's assume I own a company now. It's all my money that is there. My money there is maybe 200 million. It's still my company. But accountants will tell you that, Oga, come, let's do it like this. That your 100 million. And let's remove it from equity now. Let's put it in debt. It's still my own business. It's my money. You're not going to put that 100 million in debt. What is the effect? The effect of that 100 million, even in your books, you'll not be paying high interest. Yes, now. You can tell me that the interest is 20% or 30%. Yes, now. What are you trying to do? What you are trying to do is that interest that you are charging now, that interest will be going to your books as an expense. If it's not even high, as long as an expense, it will be sucking your profit. Some of them will have negative. And you cannot pay tax on it where you make loss now. You cannot pay tax. So those are some of the things where the account. So that's basically what we call think capitalization and where it comes. But let me tell you guys something. There's a problem. And the problem is conversion. That's usually a problem with international capital budgeting. When do I convert? When do I multiply? When I'm trying to convert, if I'm trying to convert naira to dollar, I'm converting dollar to naira. When I'm converting naira to Japanese yen, I'm converting to euro. When do I divide? When do I multiply? That is usually my students' problem. Now, because I am here and because I am a God sent to you people, because I'm here and God has sent me to come and make SFM easier for you people. Now, when do you divide? When do you multiply? First of all, what you first need to know is, am I converting to a base currency or am I converting to a counter currency? What do I call a base currency again? A base currency is the currency that has one. Anyone that has one at the back is a base currency. The other one is a counter currency. I hope that's fine. Anyone that has one at the back is what we refer to as base currency. The other one is a counter currency. Whenever you are converting to a counter currency, please multiply. Whenever you are converting to a counter currency, please multiply. But whenever you are converting to a base currency, please divide. If you are using right hand to eat, put it in your left hand though, so that you will not use it to eat. If you are using left to eat, put it in your right. If you are using the two, you used to put the two inside pot at the same time. Put it on your head so that you don't. If it's head that you used to eat, put it on your leg. If it's leg that you used to eat, I don't know where you put it though. Maybe Isha cannot carry paper to the exam, so I don't know where you put it. Anyway, that Isha will not forget, put it there. What I'm saying is, if you are converting to a counter currency, multiply. Counter currency, multiply. If you are converting to a base currency, divide. If I were you, I would write something down like CMBD. Sharp guy. It's not everything that you will be. CMBD. CMBD. What is C? Counter. M, multiply. B, base. D, divide. No button. CMBD. CMBD. Counter, multiply. That's the C and the M. Base. B, base. D, divide. You know I'd pass that one, Abi? You know I'd pass that one now. Base, divide, no button. So once you are converted to a counter currency, you multiply. Once you are converted to a base currency, you divide. That is all you need to know with international capital budgeting. No button. That's all with that. Before we start solving questions, that's all about international capital budgeting that I want to say. Before I move on, there's a question I saw on the group chat, and it's because I did not say something like that. That is why I'm going to repeat it here. When I was doing my introduction, when I was doing my recap on NPV, my revision on NPV, there's something I refused to say, which is what I call money cost of capital and real cost of capital. Money cash flow and real cash. I don't think I mentioned it in this class. I don't think I mentioned it. And I think somebody asked in that class or on the general group chat. We have what we call money cash flow and what we call real cash flow. We know, we don't know. Let me first even ask first. I think everybody is unmuted. People can talk to me now. Do we know, we don't know what we call money? What's the meaning of money cash? What's the meaning of real cash flow? I'm asking. I think everybody's okay. Let me unmute everybody so that people can talk to me. Let me know my people that want to go exam next week. Let me see. What is money cash? What is real cash flow? Oh yeah, I'm
Money
asking the
cash
class.
flow is inflated cash flow, money cash flow. Real cash flow, not inflated.
Is it correct?
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes, it's
So
all is affected by inflation.
money cash flow is a cash flow that has been inflated, while real cash flow is a cash flow that has not been real. It's normal. It has not been all those 10% growth, 5% growth has not been inflated. So what I'm now telling you now is, please always discount your money cash flow with money cost of capital. I begging you with the name of God. Don't ever discount your money cash flow with a real cost of capital. Kolelo means it will not go. Maybe I don't understand Yoruba. Kolelo, it will not go. Don't discount your money cash flow with a real cost of capital. So discount your money cash flow, all those cash flow that you've grown your sales. So I've seen most questions after they've given you, they will now go and give you a real cost of capital on the student that you just want to solve. You just take that real cost of capital, bam, you go and use it to discount it. You have failed, though. Sorry, it's not you. That person has failed. You just go and take that real cost of capital and go and use it to discount a cash flow that you've grown. You've done your normal MPV now. You've done your sales. You've grown by 5%. Then your variable cost, you've grown by 4%. You've done your working capital. You've done everything. You now want to discount. You're not going to take they will not tell you under that, assuming real cost of capital is 12%. But because you are rushing, because you feel like you have arrived, you want to key icon. You go and take that 12% sharp. You go and use it to discount it totally on the year. It's wrong. Go. So don't use real cost of capital to discount money cost of capital. So that real cost of capital, you need to convert it to a money cost of capital. Somebody help me put Fisher's theory. Abi Fisherman. There's let's call it Fisherman theory. There's a formula, Fisher's theory or Fisher's effect. So you now use that Fisher's effect formula to convert your real cost of capital into a money cost of capital. They would have given you the formula. I think the formula is at the back of your account pack anyway, but like you use it to convert your real cost of capital into your money cost of capital. So once you now have a money cost of capital, you can use money cost of capital to successfully discount a money cash flow, and you'll be very correct. I just had to chip that in. I think I saw that question. I think somebody else answered. I just had to chip that in so that we know what we are doing. So on that note, for the next 3-4 minutes, let me take questions so that I will not write Fisher's effect for you. Okay, somebody has written it for you. I wanted to say I will not write it for you guys, but somebody has written it for you. So what 1 plus M, 1 plus I, your M is your money, what was the name? The money cost of capital, and the I is the general inflation. It would have given you a general inflation in the question. So just do that, you get your real cost of capital. So for the next 3 minutes, please let me take a few questions, please. Next 3 minutes, I have a lot to do. Moses, please, your question, please.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for the class.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, please, mine is on this direct quote and indirect quotes. I'm still a little bit confused. Like you gave an example. Like we are in Nigeria, for instance. I thought if our currency comes first, that is a direct quote. I thought when the local currency comes first before the other person's currency, since the transaction is taking place from Nigeria, for instance, is a direct quote. Then when the foreign currency,
hold on. I've told you guys that in this class we are always here to learn and to unlearn. First of all, when I was writing my SFM, I was of that motivation. I was of that analogy of which one comes first. If they write, say $1 equals Kini, one that comes first, one that comes last. That's what I used to write my exam, and I passed successfully. But I've told you people that mistakes that me have seen over time, I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. It is not a mistake. It can work. But believe me, if I can't set an ACCA question, the one that comes first and the one that comes last, it will not work. Yes, now once you do CIS, you will see the way these things are. You will know that which one comes first. It will not work. So that's why you need to understand the basics. Leave that the one that comes first and the one that comes last first. Now, what you need to do is know multiple. What I mean by multiple units, at least more than one now, 100, 200, that's multiple.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, once is a direct quote, once one unit, that is 1 unit of the foreign currency, depending on where you are, 1 unit of the foreign currency gives you multiple units of the home currency. I said once 1 unit of the foreign currency gives you multiple units of the home currency, that is a direct quote. Write the way I said it, go and cram it. I don't know how to explain again. Once multiple unit of the foreign currency gives you 1 unit of the home currency, once 1 unit of the foreign currency gives you multiple unit of the home currency is a direct quote. For indirect, once 1 unit of the home currency gives you multiple unit of the foreign currency is indirect quote. Go and cram it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Miss Charity, fast. I have a lot to do. A lot. Charity, yeah. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
I want to know the formula for indirect quotes. The one you said purchasing power parity. So you gave a formula for purchasing power parity, but I didn't get the one for indirect quotes.
It's the opposite of direct now. Opposite of direct. Direct is one is spot rate times 1 plus inflation of domestic currency or domestic inflation. Domestic, that is home country now, of domestic inflation. If it's purchasing power parity, if it's interest, it would have been I instead of inflation. I don't know if I'm making sense. Difference between purchasing power parity and interest rate parity is purchasing power parity is inflation, interest rate parity is interest. So when I say I, it could be anyone. They cannot give you the two now. They can either give you inflation or they give you interest. So that's why I'm just saying I. So the I could have been inflation, it could have been interest. So the I of domestic over 1 plus I of foreign. That's a direct quote. But if it's an indirect quote, it's the other way around. So it's not going to be 1 plus I of foreign over 1 plus I of domestic. It's just the other way around. So Miss Patricia, please fast.
Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. Under predicting of foreign exchange, you said purchasing power parity, interest rate parity, and the third one is what?
The third one is one I explained. I said it's strengthening, it decreases. There's no parity to that one.
You said is what? Come again.
There's no parity to it. It's when I said that one currency is strengthening. I said strength and weakness. That one is strengthening, one is weakening. All those shenanigans. You didn't get what I said.
I said one is weakening, one is strength.
Yes, now we gave that example now where I said imagine Naira is strengthening against the dollar is strengthening against the. We did that example here now.
Okay.
And that's the third way now of predicting your currency, of predicting your exchange rate. Do you get it?
Okay, sir. Yes, I did.
Thank you. Amanwo, talk to me. Fast, please. Fast. Time has gone. Amanwo Chisa, please talk to me. Yeah, Mr. John. Mr. John.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, good evening, sir. Yeah, I just want to ask if you are given the one you made mention of that maybe the exchange rate, the foreign one is higher than the Nigerian one. It is direct. If it is indirect, can we convert it to direct before we do our conversion? Which one is better?
I don't understand what you're saying. No.
Let's say
never said one is higher than one.
No, what I'm saying, Nigerian rate is let's say 1 naira is equal to $200. I want to make a conversion. Are we to use indirect or direct?
depends on what you are converting to now. It depends on what you are converting to. If you are converting, if you want to convert it to a counter currency or you want to convert to a base, it depends on what the scenario is. If the quotation was $1 to give you $200, if the question is $1 to give you $200, I'm just saying if the quotation was $1 equals $200, in that particular case, Naira is a base currency there because it carries an invisible one. Dollar is a counter currency. Okay. So just since we are converting to a base currency, like I said, if you are converting to a base currency, you divide. And if it's dollar you wanted to convert to, because dollar is a counter currency, you multiply. Depends. Just check which one is the base, which one is the counter. If you are converting to base, divide. If you are converting to counter, multiply. It's not that hard.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, Mr. Manuel, I can hear you now.
Okay, good evening, sir.
We are.
Sir, you made mention of taxation. My line was a bit like breaking. So you said if we pay higher tax in the foreign countries, what do we do in Nigeria when we come to our home country?
You're not doing anything now. You not do anything. If you pay higher tax, if the tax in UK is 40%, the one in Nigeria is 30%, you will not do anything. Assume that the 30% has been consumed in their own 40%. If it's 30-30, you will not do anything. The only place you will charge additional taxes, assuming that our own tax rate is 30%, then the one in foreign currency is 20%. That one is lesser. So they have not paid the total tax there already. Now they've not paid the total, they've not committed the total tax because our own is 30%. So they will pay 20% there, but when they get to Nigeria, that same profit that they are bringing, when it gets to Nigeria, we'll charge 10% tax on it. You charge 10% tax on it. So that's just that for that.
Okay.
I hope that's clear. Mr. Ladimeji, please, fast. So Ladimeji, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, sir. It's an error. I didn't listen.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Okay. Ms. Gita, please. These questions are too much. I will not take all. This is the last question. Ms. Gita, yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Okay. Thank
Sorry,
you
sir.
very
The
much.
question is just, please, before when we are converting from the base currency, we divide, right? Are we to divide by the base currency itself?
Divide by the exchange rates now.
Hello, sir.
You divide by the exchange rate.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, yeah, Aisha Balogun. I spent how many days in
So I just want
international capital budget in normal class?
I just
many
want
days?
to pause to solve a question on foreign exchange.
Which one? The foreign exchange what again?
Foreign exchange risk, sir.
The one way day I never finish.
Like
I've not done it. I've not done international capital budgeting. We are still talking foreign exchange risk. People will later take my life for the way you want to move like this. I've not solved question on it. I've not solved international capital budgeting. Okay, leave that one first, I beg. Oh yeah. I think that's all the questions. No, definitely. I think those are all the questions I'm taking for now. So let me make my call so that. Okay. I will leave everybody because the questions are. Miss Patricia, what do you want to tell me? Is it a mistake? Please, if you've asked me your question, you can put your hands down and to avoid confusion. So like the media, your hands should be down. Miss Rita, I think I've answered your question. Miss Patricia. Okay, your hands is supposed to be down. Huh. So let's solve question. What was our last APV question that I want to solve? So I'm going to name people that call figure for me and people that I will not make them. I'll make them be co-host. I'll make them be co-host. But I will not unmute anybody's mic. I will not mute everybody's mic because the question is actually kind of very thick. So I might need to carry everybody along. So I will not mute everybody's mic. So, but please, let's comport ourselves. I'm begging. Before I change my mind, though, so let's comport ourselves. If you are not giving me figure or you are not calling, you are not reading anything for me, please keep your mic muted. Don't mute your mic so that we hear your surroundings, please. So I'm going to make my normal people my co-host. Miss Chika, are you active? Miss Chika, are you there?
Confirm, sir. Very, very active, sir.
I'm going to make. I've made you a co-host. Miss Rumi.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Miss Blessing. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So I'm going to make you also a co-host. So blessing on your prayer. Okay. So those people I made a co-host, so they are going to help me in coordinating the class. So they help me with figures, they help me with reading the questions, and please, if somebody is unmuted or the person is disturbing me, please, you have the power to mute. Please don't remove anybody. It's a paid class. I beg. Don't remove anybody, but you have the power to mute the person's mic. Thank you very much. So we can start. So what's that our question, please? Yeah, let's solve. Please, if you cannot see my screen, can you raise up your hand? I'm sure everybody can see my screen. If you cannot see my screen, can you raise up your hand? Okay, everybody can see. Thank you. So yeah, help me read the question. What's that question? What, I beg? That's question what?
13.
Oh yeah. Help me read it. When I said then everybody can nobody raised up behind us. I can't come out now. When they raise up. Please, Mr. Tibab, if you cannot see my screen, I think it's from your network. Just try to log out and log in again. Yeah, please somebody read question 13 for me, please. Make I know hear my voice for the L.
Aduni PLC.
Can you reshare the question, please?
Now. Oh yeah, please read question 13.
Aduni PLC is a major Nigerian manufacturer.
I know you miss me.
Aduni PLC is a major Nigerian manufacturer of high quality pens. Was listed on the alternative investment market 4 years ago. In a recent meeting, the directors took a strategic decision to diversify operations and to make a major investment in facilities to the manufacture of roofing membranes. The new investment is being appraised for over a 4-year time horizon. Revenues from the new investment are uncertain, and AP's finance director has prepared what she regards as cautious forecast. He predicts that it will generate 40 million naira operating cash flow before marketing costs in year 1 and 290 million operating cash flows before marketing costs in year 2. With operating costs rising by the expected levels of inflation in years 3 and 4. Marketing costs are predicted to be 180 million in year 1 and 40 million in each of years 2 to 4. The new investments will require immediate expenditure on facilities of 612 million. Tax allowable depreciation will be available on the new investment at an annual rate of 25% using balance basis. It can be assumed that there will be either balancing allowance or balancing charge in the final year of the appraisal. The finance director believes the facilities will remain viable for after 4 years, and therefore the realizable value of 270 million naira can be assumed at the end of the appraisal period. The new facilities will also require an initial investment in working capital of 60 million naira. Working capital requirements will increase by the rate of inflation for the next 3 years, and any working capital at the start of year 4 will be assumed to be released at the end of the appraisal period. AP pays tax at an annual rate of 30%. Tax is payable with a year's time delay. Any tax losses on the investment can be assumed to be carried forward and written off against future profits from the investment. Prediction in inflation rates are as follows, beginning from year 1 to 4. The entire cost of the investment, 612 million naira, is expected to be financed by a government subsidized loan. This is repayable at the end of 4 years. Issue cost of 4% of the gross finance will be payable at a rate of 30 basis points below the risk-free rate of 2.5%. The company normally borrows in the market at 5%. Issue costs for the loan would be paid out of available cash reserves. Issue costs are not allowable as a tax deductible expenses. Adigo is a large manufacturer of roofing membranes. Adigo's cost of equity is estimated to be 10.5% and its pre-tax cost of debt to be 5.4%. These estimates are based on a capital structure comprising 900 million naira 6% undated bonds, trading at 107 naira per 100 naira, and 500 million 1 naira equity shares, trading at 3 naira 20 kobo per share. And the group also pays tax at an annual rate of 30% on its taxable profits required. Advise the directors using the adjusted present value on the viability of the project. Show all workings. B. Discuss whether changing the capital structure of a company can lead to reduction in its cost of capital and hence to an increase in the value of the company. Thank you. If you are talking, so it seems you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I was actually talking. I said the question is very, very long. I think I was also answering the person that said, will the recorded classes be dropped today? Yes, it will be dropped today. Although Google Meet takes about 1 hour or 2 hours before it is dropped, but after then, I think we should drop it. So thank you very much, Yusumi. A question, Choke. So let's solve. So what's the name of the company, please?
Adoni PLC.
Adoni PLC. You're supposed to calculate our adjusted present. What's the formula for APV?
This
What's
is
formula for
MPV.
APV?
PV of financial effects.
PV of financial effects.
Your base case MPV plus or minus your PV of financing effect. So let's calculate our base case MPV first. So you say base case NPV. So what are the how many years? I'm going to make this in a tabular form so that it's better.
Oh yes.
Sorry. So you say insert table. 4 years, have you?
Yes, sir.
But while she was reading, I heard tax will be paid 1 year in delay, I'll be something.
Yes, that's correct.
Tax will be paid 1 year in delay, Abi. So and I've told you guys for whenever you hear 1 year in delay, automatically knows that means in arrears. It means tax of 1 year, 1 we paid in year 2, year 2 you paid in year 3. So it means I have an extra year, and I can comfortably say 5 years. So I'm going to do this. So you now say no years, your items 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one will go work. Let me do one more. Sorry, 1 minute, sorry. Let me put this in my table again. I'm supposed to have 6. That's years. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm supposed to have 6 here. Just do 6 by 6. So yeah, say years, Abi. 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Just to complete the 4. I still have 1 more. So now I have 5 here. I don't want it to be scattered. That's why I'm using the table. I don't want it to scatter. So the first thing we have, I think, operating cash flow, Abi.
Yes.
Abi,
Yes.
what's the story with operating cash flow, please?
He predicts that it will generate 40 million operating cash flow before marketing cost in year 1 and 290 million operating cash flow before marketing cost in year 2, with operating costs rising by the expected levels of inflation in year 3 and 4.
So what it means is we should come. So 40,000 year one, 219.92. So, but like
40
from
million
there, we should use the normal inflation rate. So you come here.
inflation rate.
So you say year. So you say year equals to. So you say years. So so say year one. No, say years. You're not come here. Say one equals to 40,000. Year two is equals to 290,000. Year three now is equals to 290,000 times what's that? What's the inflation rate for year three?
5%.
Times 1.05. What do I have? Year four.
304.5.
304. 304,500. All our answers are in the nearest what?
Million.
Did they say it in the question?
What they showed us, they gave us 40 million operating cash flow, then 290 million for year two.
Okay. So let me say 290 here. 290 here. Here. So this will be 304.5. So let me say 40 here. Say 290 here. Okay. So that so for this one we'll now have 304.5. That was the exchange rate for year four. Or inflation rate, sorry.
4%.
4%. So you say
316.
times 1.8 times 1.04. What do I have?
316.68. That's 317 approximately.
Let's say
If you are doing that.
316.7. So bring my figures here. So for this one, what do I have? 304.5.
Yes.
For this last one, what do I have?
304. 316.7.
7. So from there now marketing, I think marketing cost, Abby.
Yes.
Marketing cost. So what's the studio marketing cost?
Marketing cost is predicted to be 180 million in year one.
118 in year one.
180
118 in year one.
million in each of the years.
So that means 40 in the remaining part of the years. Say 40.
Yes.
So let me be this one again now. Sorry, you don't disappear. Okay. So 40. So what do I have? What's my operating cash flow before tax?
For year one is minus negative 140.
1 minute, please. So for the first one, negative 1 minute. Negative 140.
250 for year two.
250.
264.5 for year three.
264.5.
266.7 for the last year.
266.7
for the last year.
276.
Miss
It's
Chika said it's
276.
76.
276.
So you said tax. So, but that tax, I was hearing a lot of grammar that loss should be kinikon, blah blah blah. A lot of dibidawa.
Yes. AP pays tax at an annual rate of 30%. Tax is payable with a year's time delay. Any tax losses on the investment can be assumed to be carried forward and written off against future profits from the investment.
Good. So that means that's okay. So that's will be our working. Yeah, that will be our working. So now this would have been our. Let me say. Working one. Operating cash flow. So this will be our workings too, Abby. So workings too. Our tax, Abby. So for this one, for this tax now, this tax is one of the lock of this question. So the first thing we'll first do is, they said that, listen, no, this is the structure of the question. You people know that when we want to do our MPV, you people are used to the fact that you first go and calculate your what? You just charge your tax on that cash flow now. You will now go and do your tax savings on capital allowance. That's what people are used to. But because this question says that all losses are to be carried forward. So what it means is you first need to go and calculate your capital allowance first. So once you calculate your capital allowance, you're now going to use your capital allowance to adjust for your cash flow. Yes, now what you are trying to do is, you cannot. How would I explain it now? Let me read that line to you guys again. See the line. The line says that where is it? The line says that AP pays an annual tax of 30%. Tax is payable with a year's time delay. That's tax. Any tax losses on the investment, can be assumed to be carried forward and written off against future profits. Now, this is our cash flow now. So we cannot know the ones to be written forward. We cannot know the ones to be carried forward yet now. So we need to determine our capital allowance, add our capital allowance to our cash flow before tax, so that we get our adjusted cash flow. So we know the ones to carry forward. We know the ones that we are making loss. So first of all, let's go and calculate our capital allowance first. So you now come here, you will say calculation of capital is the question that determines what you will do. I've told you guys before. Don't streamline your mind. So you say yes. How do we do it again? Item, capital. If it was a normal question, we would have come here to the last board and write what? Let me know, my students. What would I have written in this last place? Let me put have been reading. Tax savings on capital allowance. Good. But because that's not what I want to do. I just want to calculate my capital allowance so that I can go and use it to compare my profit, my cash flow, so that I can know the one that is giving me negative and the one that is actually giving me positive. So let's start now. So you say year zero. Your zero is your initial outlay. What's the figure of my initial outlay?
612 million.
So 612,000. So year one. My year one tax at what's my capital allowance? Is it reducing balance or straight line?
25% reducing balance.
So what's 25% of 612?
153.
150. Okay, so let me use 612 alone so that I don't stop it. Is it 612 million, Abby?
Yes.
Yes.
What do I have?
459.
So this becomes my tax written down value. What do you call it?
459.
459.
So my year 2. So you charge your tax. So again, you say your tax at 25%. What do I have?
114.75.
114. Let's maintain it. Let's maintain one decimal, please. That's 114.8, Tabi.
Yes.
So what do I have as my tax sitting down value?
$344.2.
Like this?
Yes. Point
So,
3. Approximately 0.3.
It's 0.2. It's
this is my
0.2.
tax sitting down value.
It's 0.2.
It's 2.2.
Is it 0.2 or 0.3?
0.2.
Sir, capital allowance is 25%, not tax, sir. Inheriting tax.
Thank you. So, what do I have?
86.1.
86.
258.2.
258.2.
0.1.
3.1 or 0.2?
0.2.
0.1.
0.2. We are. It's 1.5, so you change it to 2.
Put it on the one hub now. It's 0.1.
It's 0.1.
The one up is supposed to be 344.3, not 344.2.
No, it's 0.2. I'm sure you are using 2 decimal. One decimal place. The figures are correct.
So for my so now since the stuff is year 4 now, Abby, so you now say
Yes, sir.
your so your year 4 now, you now say sales proceeds. So say year 4 first. Say year 4, you now say sales proceeds. What's the sales proceeds?
270 million.
270. So what do I have? The balancing allowance or balancing charge?
Balancing allowance.
Balancing charge.
It's balancing charge. Balancing charge.
When your sales post
Balancing charge.
when your sales post is greater than your tax sitting
Balancing
down
charge.
value, you balancing allowance or balancing charge?
Balancing charge, sir.
Balancing charge.
Balancing charge, please.
Balancing charge.
Anything you call it, if you say it's charge, if you say it's allowance, anything you say is correct.
Use
But
charge.
it's
Use charge.
but it's balancing charge, sharp. What do I have?
11.9.
Now let me ask the classic question. Balancing charge, is it is it a taxable profit or a taxable loss?
A taxable profit.
Taxable profit.
Taxable profit.
Loss.
The taxable profit.
Taxable.
Taxable loss.
It's profit, oh.
Balancing
Taxable
charge,
profit.
It's profit because the sales process is beyond the tax putting down value.
Chargeable profit.
It's profit.
Now let's raise up our hands now. This one multiple.
Dum, 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 dum. So, okay. Anyways, let's continue. So we come here. You say, oh, people are expecting me to give you answer. No, go and ask
Sir, tell us now.
me. Waiting concern. Go and ask your tax like that. So you say 4. Oh yeah. Dum 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 dum
So
dum.
what are we computing?
So like I told you now, I want to compare. We've gotten our tax, we've gotten our capital allowance. You know, I told you, listen, no, in a normal scenario, we could have come and done our tax saved there. But no, we will not do that because of the structure of this question. We need to calculate the total amount of losses that we have first, both on the capital allowance and everything. So we need to calculate the total amount of losses compared to we need to add it to our cash flow also. So we now get our adjusted cash flow, so that we know total losses that we are bringing forward, the one that we are carrying forward. So we just need total amount of losses we have. So you can say, let me call it a name. Say you now calculate. It's tax we are trying to get to. You now say calculation. You now say calculation of adjusted cash flow. So yeah, what was my cash flow before tax?
Year
Scroll
0, we
down.
have my negative 140.
Negative 140. Year 0 will be year 1.
250. Year 1.
Year 2 is 250.
250.
Year 3
264.5. 27. Yes. And 276.7.
what do I have for year 3?
264.5.
264.5. What do I have for year 4?
276.7. 0.5, not
276.5,
0.7.
Abi?
0.7. No, this one is 0.7. Year 3 is 0.5.
Okay, so you now come in and say your capital allowance. So let me just say it's SSC. So what's my capital allowance for year 1?
Where did we get these figures from?
Can everybody keep their mic muted, please? What is this now? I will go back to muting everybody. Oh. You want to ask me a question? Raise up your hand now. Abba. Please, what is my capital allowance, please?
153 for year 1.
153.
Positive, please. 114.8.
114.8, Abi?
Yes. 86.1.
I can't hear you. What did you say?
86.1.
86.
Yes.
Your voice is low, madam. Last one.
11.9.
11.9.
Yes.
Now, when I asked you a question that what's the name? Your balancing charge or your balancing allowance. Normally, when you get to this part of this, your balancing allowance is always in negative now. But once you do your balancing charge here normally supposed to be negative. Yes or yes?
Yes.
258 minus 270 is not negative. I have.
Yes, it is negative.
So it's negative 11.9. But like because but normally when I got here, normally I'm subtracting the capital allowance. I'm trying to tell you why this is positive, Neil. I'm subtracting the capital allowance. This is supposed to be negative. I'm supposed to subtract them from this what's the name? Subtract them from this cash flow. I'm supposed to subtract my capital allowance from them. But because I'm doing a minus, and this was already in minus, minus times minus gives me plus now. So this thing is negative. That's what I'm explaining to you. Let me come again. Your balancing charge here is negative now because of this. You are doing taxes now value minus sales proceeds. It gives you negative 11.9. But you are trying to subtract your capital allowance from your cash flow before tax so that you get your new adjusted cash flow. So you are doing minus, minus, minus. But for this one, because there was a minus before, minus times minus automatically gives you a positive figure. That's why that is positive. That's what I'm trying to explain. So you now come here, you see adjusted. People will see what I'm trying to do now once I'm done. You see adjusted cash flow. Yeah, what's the first one?
$293.
293. The second one.
$135.
Negative or positive?
Positive 135.2.
This one, okay.
178.4.
178.4. This one, okay.
288.6.
288. Now these are our adjusted cash flow now. Now look at it now. See where we have made loss. This is where we are trying to calculate. It's because of the question. The question says that any loss on the investment can be assumed to be carried forward and written up against future investments, against future profit from the investment. That is basically why we are doing all of this drama. So we have gotten that at least for now, our adjusted cash flow for year one is what? Is negative. So we can carry it forward against to make future positive. So we can say somebody's unmuted now. Sorry, Lua. Come on.
I've muted her.
So yeah, you say losses brought forward. Now, for this one, for the first one, this is a loss now. So this loss now will be carried forward to the next year. Abi now.
Yes, sir.
So this loss will be carried forward. So we cannot charge tax on this particular loss. I'm just letting you know why the ones I'm charging tax on, I can do it directly. Yes, I can, but like you people will be confused. I'm just breaking it down like this so that you will be more understanding. So losses brought forward. So that let me first know the losses I'm carrying forward so that I will know the one you cannot charge tax on loss now. Abi. So I need to know where I started making profit from, the year I started making profit from, so that I can know the year I'm charging my tax from. Let me come again. What I'm trying to do is the question says that all losses should be carried forward against future profit. Fine. Me, I cannot charge tax on loss. So I need to know where I've started making profit so that I can know when to start charging my tax. That's basically what I want to do now. So you cannot charge this loss will be brought forward because you have not made profit to the next one. So the next one now, we have made profit of 135 now. So we can now comfortably come and charge our 293 here because we have. If this second one was still lost, we'll move on to the next year. But because we've made profits here, we can come and charge our 293 here now. So what do I have? Negative 293 plus this figure. Is it a positive or a negative?
Negative 157.8.
Negative 157. I'm still going to carry that loss again till this year. If it was positive, I would have stopped here because I started making profit now, so I can stop. But I'm still making loss even after I've charged all these figures. So I'm still making loss. So you still come to this one. Negative what?
157.8.
157.8. So this, I think this is positive now. But what do I have, Sha? Give me the exact figure.
20.6.
20.6 positive. So I've started making loss comfortably now. So I don't need to go anywhere again. So I know that okay, this is the year that my losses are stopped. So so what I've just done here now, I've used losses to match my profit according to what the question say I should do. That all losses on the event to be carried forward and written off against future profit. That's what I've just done. Bam, that's certain. You finish that one. So you will not come here, you now do something like this. So you now do something like this. So you will now say, so now you now say losses carried forward. So let me do my total now so that I know total. So you come here, you see total loss for this one now is 293, Abi? 293.
Yes.
So what's the total? So what's the total? What's the total loss for this one?
157.8.
157.8. Still negative,
Negative.
Abi?
Then next is 20.6.
20
But no
points.
loss, sure.
It's positive now, Abi.
It's not a loss.
Yes. So I don't need to go there. Since it's not a loss, I don't need it. So what I'm trying to do is I've ascertained, I've used my, what's the name now? I have used my what grammar am I trying to blow? I have carried my losses. I've used it to match the profit now. So what I just want to know now is, okay, what is the actual loss? Do you understand? This particular figure now, I cannot charge tax on any of these ones because this one is a loss. So whatever I have in this year is this particular loss. So I cannot charge tax on. So I just wanted to bring out all this one so that I will know where to start charging my tax. So now you cannot come and charge. So now let's now do it like so. You now say you cannot charge tax on loss. You cannot charge tax on loss now. So you now say tax. Let's say tax carried forward. So that this is now where you start charging tax. Tax cannot be charged here. Tax cannot be charged here. What's that figure you got for me for this one? 20 what?
20.6.
20.6. So this is where you can start charging tax for. But I cannot put this figure here because this is not a loss now. This is what I've done. I just brought out my losses so that I'm so sure that these are losses. This is just what I've done. But this 20.6, I could easily put it here, but it does not match what I wrote here. What I wrote here is losses carried forward. If I put 20.6 here, is it a loss? So I needed to come down, say, okay, this is where I started making profit. 20.6. For this other one now, what do I have? This one was. So for this other one, what do I have?
288.6.
288.6. So I can comfortably go and charge my tax on just these two now. Abi says I cannot charge tax on loss, I can only charge tax on profit. So I can now comfortably come and charge my tax on these ones now. So you now say tax at, was it 30% or 25? 30%, I hope. Abi?
It's 30, yeah.
So what is 30% of 20.6?
6.18.
6.18. Sorry. For this one, Nico?
It's 6.58.
86.58. But don't forget that the question says that tax are paid when? The question says that tax are paid when?
1 year later.
The following year.
1 year later.
Yes.
So year due. So it means that the tax of year 3 is paid in year 4. Tax of year 4 is paid when? Year 5.
Yes.
So this 6.18, it's 6.58, you bring them here. I'll take your questions, please. Hold on. So you bring them to year 4. So you say here now you have negative 6.18. Year 5. What's the what do I have? 86 point what?
86.58.
0.6.
86 point what? See.
We are using one decimal. Let's continue.
Oh, sir,
86.6.
86.6.
But we are using one decimal.
We're using one decimal. The other one is 6.
Please, guys. Thank you.
One decimal, year 4 should be 6.2.
Please, one house, please, one house, please. So I've done my tax. Okay, sorry. So Initial outlay. What's my initial outlay? 612.
612.
Abi?
Yes, yes, yes.
Am I correct now?
It's not 612.
Yes, sir, it's correct.
We are
Or just
working in
612.
millions.
What's my scrap? It's after I've
270.
made
270.
did my own that it will not be.
Network. Hey.
So let's go and do our working capital. That's what we can say. I've told you guys you can come any way. You can come any way you want it. Your working capital could be first. Please, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Please,
Very
can you
well.
guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, but
Yes,
sometimes it
sir.
seems like your screen is lagging or something. I don't know if I'm the only one, Sha.
Yes, it's correct. The screen is going on and off.
Even for me, I feel like people are hearing me hours after. Let
And
me
your
try
point
to
is breaking.
see if I can log out and let me see if I can change my network. Okay, so I'll change my network. Please, is it better?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where was I? So I was trying to calculate the working capital. So what's the grammar on working capital, please? What's the grammar of working
Working
capital?
Working capital requirements will increase by the rate of inflation for the next 3 years, and any working capital at the start of year 4 will be assumed to be released at the end of the appraisal period.
At the start of year 4 will be assumed to be released at the end. Okay. So you can say year 4 or working 4, we'll send you work. Say working capital. So first now, so let's say let's do our years. So say year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So you say working capital. So it's assumed to be growing with normal interest rate. I'm putting year 0 there intentionally. So our year 0 working capital was what? 60.
60.
60, just said 60. Sorry. So with the normal rates now, so let me go it 60 by what's the first discount factor? We go to it.
8%.
So 60
That's
times 1.08.
64.8. 64.8.
64.8. What do I have here too? 64.8 times what's the second year working capital?
6%.
So 64.8 times 1.06.
68.7. 68.7.
8.7. For this one, what do I have?
That's 5%, 1.05. That's 72.1. The other one is 4%. That's 74.9.
75.
So let's not say incremental. Don't forget our working capital is always differences, Abi. We're not saying
Yes.
incremental. So 64.8 minus 60, what do I have?
Yeah, 4.8.
I think, year 4 could be 75, sir. It's 74.98.
I've heard. I will change that one. What do I have for this one?
3.9.
3.9. What do I have here?
3.4.
3.4.
So using 75, 2.9 for year 4.
You will not use 75 now. I don't start. The question said that what? All working capital should be what?
Recoup.
At the end of the year now. So, and year 4 is at the end of the year. So you don't need to do the differences between it. Just recoup the whole working capital at the end of this one. So what are the whole working capital you will recoup? What are the whole working capital you will recoup?
75 million.
Line. It's not 75 now. It's all this incremental. It's all this incremental that you will recoup. But don't forget that at year 0 there was still 60 now. So it should be 60, 4.8, 3.9, 3.4, all of them. That will be 72.1. See, the difference is this one is different from the one we used to do because most of the ones we used to do percentage of sales. And our sales was not used to have year 0. If you guys could remember that we used to have year due. You guys could remember. Most of the one we don't used to have year 0 because we used to do percentage of sales. So after we've done percentage of sales here, we'll just do our working capital, which will be the differences. Then we'll just do year due. So we'll move the first one to year 0, move the second one year 1, year 2, year 3. That's how we always end up doing these differences at year 4. But because we have year 0 now, it's year 0 that we grew. That's why I told everybody to be in this class. Because most of the ones we've done, they are always percentage of sales. But because year 0 is year 0 that we grew now, so this is already year 0. And they said all working capital should be recouped at the end of the year. So you don't need to do this last differences. Since year 0 is here, year 1 is here. Yes, this minus this gives you this. Year 2 minus year 1 gives you this. Year 3 minus this gives you this. You don't need to do this minus this because you are not. It's year 4 that want to end. So all will be recouped at the end of year 4. So just add year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Everything will be recouped at the end of year 4. So give me all these figures, please. So I mean that. So what means is working capital year 0, I have 60. Year 1, I have what?
4.8.
Sorry, this should be in brackets. Sorry.
Your 612 should be in bracket too, sir.
So negative 4.8, Abby.
Yes.
Please.
Next one.
3.9. 3.4.
72.1.
72.1, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Your screen is not moving. Okay.
So what's my net cash flow?
For the last year is minus 86.6. Year 5.
672. 0. Negative.
144.8.
144.
0.8.
For year 4, 612.6.
246.1. 261.1.
261.1.
1.
6.
Year 4.
Positive.
612.6.
6.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
6.2.
Positive.
612.6 rather. 612.6.
This one will not be negative to now. This one should be positive now. This 250 minus this. This one too should be positive now. 264 minus this.
Positive
Yes, it's
261.1.
positive.
This one would be negative, I mean. Abi?
Yes, sir.
So what's the next thing we'll do?
Discount factor.
So you now say discount factor. Discount factor. So let's go and calculate it now. So how are we going to calculate our discount factor?
We are going to use the project company on jet cost of capital.
Calculation of cost of equity. So after, if I use proxy company on J now, what do I now do? After on J, what do I do?
Then we use our formula to get our cost of equity to calculate our base case NPV.
Good. So, but before I use my, if I want to use my, what is I should do first? Ungearing. What's formula for my ungearing?
Beta asset equals to beta equity times value of equity over value of equity plus value of debt post tax plus beta debt if you are given, then value of debt post tax over value of equity plus value of debt post tax.
Nice one. Thank you very much. All those ones now. So where's my, so what is my assets beta in this question, or my equity beta? I'm gone.
Gang, 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 gang.
Gone. What's my equity beta, madam? Maybe you don't drop formula now.
Gang, 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 gang. Mm.
What is my equity beta? Okay, let's even, if we don't even have equity beta now, let's not even say I want to even now do CAPM. What is my risk free? They say 5%. What is my market return? Nowhere to be found.
Risk free is 2.5.
Risk free is
2.5.
What's market return?
5%.
Say that one again.
What's beta?
Not
Sir,
found.
can we use scale? Can we use scale for it? M&M.
It's not. So we can use them and them.
You can use
We
what?
can use them and preposition to.
Can we hold on, please? Please, everybody. We can use what? M and A. What did I hear?
M and M.
And M.
Oh, okay. Kel.
Yes.
So the formula is cost of equity get equals to your cost of equity on get plus your cost of equity. Sorry. Your cost of equity on get minus cost of debt
bracket times.
So your debt over equity. And put this in another bracket. Minus. See, we don't have this. Is I told you guys before, it's question that determines this thing. We don't have beta. We don't have asset beta. We don't have equity beta. What are we supposed to do? No dividend. We wanted to use dividend valuation. So it cannot work. So the only best option you have is to use KEL because we have information for KEL. So let's bring out our variables. What's our cost of equity on what's our cost of equity get for proxy company?
10.5.
10.5. What is our cost of equity on get?
We are not giving.
That's what we are
So we
looking
are going
for.
to determine that.
So you say cost of equity on get equals, let's represent it with X. Say our debt. What's the value of our debt? Somebody's unmuted and is disturbing my phone.
5.5.
5.4.
Debt,
5.4.
value. I did not say cost of debt, value of debt.
Okay. We have to determine.
I know I will determine it now. What do I do, Nimoso? Ha. Yeah. Yeah. Students where they carry go exam.
We are giving to be 900.
1.27.
And we're giving the market
1.207.
value.
Divided by 1.07.
Yeah.
107 what?
Sir, it is 900
107
times
divided by 100 times
107 divided
535.
Thank you. Multiplied by 900 million. What do I have?
So what about the 6% then?
963.
963.
So our equity. What's the value of our equity?
500.
3.2 naira.
500.
3.2 times 500 million shares. 3.2 times 500 million shares.
17.5 million.
What do I have?
17.5 million.
1.6. 1,600.
No. It's 1,600.
So these are figures, are they correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Correct.
So let's now do our cost. So you see cost of debt. What's our cost of debt?
10.5. Oh, 5.4, sorry.
5.4.
What's our tax rate?
30%.
It's 1,600, not 1.6.
I think we have brought out all our variables, so let's put all our variables in this formula. So we are saying 10.5% equals to we say x, Abby, plus x.
Equity is 1,600, not 1.6.
X minus 5.4, Abby, 5.4 close bracket. This is check. So it sends is 963 over. I hope this thing does not confuse. It does not confuse what we've done. But isn't the power of million now? So if I do 963 divided by 1.6,
1,600.
Supposed to be 1,600.
yeah, because I don't look, I'm saying most likely will confuse what we are doing. So 1,600. So 1 minus 0.30. For people that went to school, yes, for people that went to school that not go to Namina, you do this thing. And what's the value of my x? So while they are doing that, let me take a few questions. Please, the question I'm going to take is regarding this, so regarding this cost of equity. Other questions, I will take them later. Regarding this cost of equity, please, if you want to, can you raise up and let me take questions, please? But people that went to good school, please solve it was the value of my x. But if you have questions regarding this cost of equity, can you raise up your hand, please? If you go now, I mean, now you like myself, leave it though. Oh yeah, Miss Edina.
8.9%, approximately 9%.
Blair, go school. Miss Omolara, you talk to me, your question. We are. No, I cannot hear you. If you are speaking, I can't hear you anyways. Dimeji.
Yes, my question is on our calculation initially for year one. I'm seeing 144. I think we supposed
Is
to
my
deduct
question on cost of equity?
No, I raised your point before now.
You can put it down on the anybody that want to ask question on this cost of equity is what I'm taking, please. Don't have to, this time has gone now. Hey, Amolara, talk to me now. You're not talking to me. I cannot hear you. You're using earpiece. Maybe you should remove it. I cannot hear you, anyways. Mr. Onamdi, talk to me, please. Onamdi Arinze.
I'm looking at why are we using these figures. Sir?
Why are we using these figures?
Yes, sir.
What should I have used?
I don't know.
Because you don't know that we are using them now. This is the formula we are using, Kel. It's M&M. It's in your book. So that way, but these are the figures brought out from it. And this is the figures. We are trying to get the derivatives of each and every one of them. We don't have beta. We don't have beta asset. We don't have equity beta. So the only reasonable formula to use is this Kel formula. I've told you, your question determines what you will do. Because you're not giving us beta asset or equity beta. Fine, we could have ungeared and done all of our CAPM. But there is no asset beta, no equity beta, no even normal beta safe. We talk of asset or equity, no normal beta, even if I wanted to use CAPM. But for this one works, and this is our cost of equity on get for proxy company. This is what we are trying to look for our cost of equity on get. Our debt formula is our debt. They told us it is what is the grammar with the debt. They said it is waiting. It comprises of 900 million 6% undated bond trading at 107 per 100 naira. So what trading at 107 per 100 naira. So we did 107 over 100 multiplied by the total of 900 million. That's our cost, our value of debt. For value of equity, 500 million, and it's trading at 3.2 naira per share. So 500 times this. This is our tax rate. And our cost of debt is 5%. The company normally borrows in the market at 5%. That's our cost of debt. So those are where all those variables came out from. Sorry, Jerry. Borrows and market. This is market. This one is market market rate. This is our pre-tax cost of debt. Sorry. Pre-tax cost of debt to be 5.4. Sorry, that's why 5.4 came from. So yeah, what do you say I have, please? People that went to good school.
9%.
6.4%.
So
9%.
you see all those people that are saying
9%.
6. They are the ones that went to the school that is beside their house. That they will be going late. Break time, they go house.
8.22.
You see, now all of them we no go good
9%.
8.99.
8.99.
Let's do it together, please. Oh.
6.4%.
Let's do it. Let's people that went to good school. Let's do it together. People that went to good school. So you now say x plus so if you do this, Abi, so you now say what is so you say x, Abi, you see x minus 5.4. So what do I have? 963 divided by 16 multiplied by 0.70.
0.42.
0.42.
0.42.
41. Okay, 0.42.
So if you now say 10.5, so use this 0.42 to open this bracket now. So you now say you have x plus open bracket x. So it will not be x 0.42x, Abi.
Yeah.
Minus 0.42 times 5.4. What do I have?
2.28.
2.28.
2.25.
So if I want to use so now let's break this down, Abi, so that we collect like time. So you now say you have so what you now have is so you have broken this. This is not supposed to be in bracket anymore. I'm using 0.42 to break it now.
2.27.
So let's collect like terms. So you say 10.5 equals to so you want to collect like terms. No, don't forget there's a coefficient of 1 here. Abi now. There's a coefficient, x has a coefficient of 1 here now. So that means now
1. That's 1.42x.
42x minus 2.28. So if you now collect like terms, so from here, if you collect like terms and make x
The
subject of formula. Now everything you could do for exam, you know worry. So you now have 1.42x equals to, we bring this minus 2 to this other side, so you now have 10.5 plus
plus
2.28. So if you say 1.42x equals to what do I have?
12.78.
12.78.
12.78.
So divide both sides
By X. By
by x
1.42.
by
Divided
1.
by 1.42, we have 9. 9%.
So your x, so x equals 9%.
All right. Now we go better school.
Now, no mind those people they get 6.4.
Congratulations.
People they get Canada, they get 6.4. I don't know where I go. So that 9. So let's go on discount with 9%. Don't forget it's base case MPV we are still doing. We never do PV or financing effect.
Yay!
So you come here, you see discount at 9%. What do I have? This one is 1.00. Yeah.
0.917.
0.917.
0.842.
0.842.
0.772.
0.772.
0.708.
0.71.
708.
0.649. 650.
What's my present value? Six, seven, so
132.8. Last year, 56.29.
207.2.
56.9.
207.2.
Hold on now. Last year, 56.9.
0.3.
Oh, yeah, year 3.
Year 4.
Year 2.
433.7.
433.
0.7.
Year 2, 207.2.
Year 3, 220.27.
So what's my MPV? What's my base case MPV?
Year 3 is 201.
201.6.
201.6.
Yeah, year 3. Year 3 is 201.2.
So what's my base case MPV?
It's year 3 is not year 2. Oh.
So year 2 is 207.2.
Year 3, 201.6.
So we just said it's 207.2 now.
Year 3.
And that's year
3.
Year 3 is now what?
201.6.
201.6. That's different.
As if I'm getting my figure, go and plug my laptop.
That's 18 points. In jacket, 18.6.
You say what?
negative 18 point.
18.6 in January.
So negative 0.6.
It's negative 18.6.
Are you writing something? I don't know. It seems like your screen is frozen at my end.
Same here.
Yeah, just tell now, I want to go and plug my laptop now. My laptop is supposed to be moving. Why is it I'm moving?
Sorry, because you were talking, so we thought.
I'm checking. Maybe you better. My laptop has refused to charge. Maybe we should pray.
So is it frozen too?
Be like, okay, it's already charging. Oh, yeah. So what do you say the figure is? Negative what?
18.6.
18.6. 18.
Is it 15.6 or 18?
18. 1.8.
18.6.
18.6.
So now let's go and do our preview of financing effects. I mean, I can say we don't finish. Oh, yeah.
We never go anywhere.
So preview of financing effects. So let's start now. So you first say your PV of issue cost. Please, I'll take all questions. Please just hold on. PV of issue cost. So the way I would do it, please listen to me. Because our tax, because our tax was paid in arrears. Because there was a year delay with our tax payment. I will not calculate the PV here. I'll first go and get all those issue costs. First, all of them one by one. Before I will now go and do the discounting. Do you understand? So let me first calculate them here first. Now let me first say issue. Let me first say issue cost. So I'll first calculate all of them one by one first. So let's do. So the question says issue cost is on what?
4%.
4% of the gross
4% of what?
Gross finance.
Of gross finance. So the thing is, because it's like that, please always do your issue cost on gross finance list. Always do your issue costs on your gross finance list. But the remaining, both subsidy and interest, the question will say if all other ones should be on gross finance list also, or should be on gross finance required. And like I said when I was explaining, if the question is silent about the two of them, please use gross finance required. Only issue costs should be on gross finance list. Let me come again. We have we have gross finance required and we have gross finance list. Your issue costs should always be on gross finance list. Always on gross finance list. But the remaining, which is your interest and your subsidy, the question will determine if they should also be on gross finance list or they should be on gross finance required. If you check the question sent to the group chat, if you check our APV part, the first question we solve, it was very silent. So we use our interest and our subsidy, we use gross finance required for them. But the second question says that all other sources should also be on gross finance list. Then we now did our subsidy and we now did our interest also on gross finance list. But your issue cost will always be on your what? Gross finance list. So you now come here, you say gross. So you say gross finance list is equals to, what do I say the formula is?
Net amount.
Net amount.
Initial outlay plus working capital.
Over what?
Over 100 minus.
Over 100 minus
cost rate.
So yeah. Now, another thing I would like to say is, hold on, let me see where. 1 minute though. Hold on, please, I want to check something. 1 minute, just hold on, I want to see something. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to look for something. Facilities will also require initial investment in working capital of 60 million. New facilities. Hold on. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's continue. So yeah, what do I now have? What are our net amounts?
Initial outlay and working capital.
So what's the total?
672.
Over. What our issue cost rate?
4%. That will be 96.
No, it's 100% though. So you can say 0. You know your issue cost rate is in percentage now. What do I have?
700. 700.
0.06. Okay. 670.
700.
You have 700 million, have you?
Yes.
You now come here and say issue cost equals to 700 million times 0.04. What do I have? Yeah, what do I have? What
We
do I have?
have 1.12 million.
1 million. Like, you know, we are using, okay, 1.12 like this.
Yes, that's 1.1 since you are using one decimal factor.
Okay, so 1.1 million. Like this, Abi?
I have 28 here.
I have 28 too.
It's 28, please. It's 28, please.
So you have 28 million. Then next thing you will now do now is, I'm supposed to do because they said issue cost is not, they did not give us information about issue cost being taxable, so we will not tax it. And there's no, since we will not tax our issue cost is always in year zero, so your 28 million year will be negative since it's issue cost. It will be negative, but I will not put it here because to avoid questions. I will put it there. My issue cost is outflow, it's a negative, so it will be negative here. But let me leave it like this. But when I'm doing my PV of financing effect in total, I'll go and negate it here. I can do the PV here, but I don't want to do it. I want to show you guys something with the PV. So the next one, let's say tax shield. Let's say our tax shield on loan. So what is our interest on subsidized loan?
This 700 million is not correct.
What's finance required? I got 11,200. So I've been calculating it over and over again.
Calculate it again. It's not
So we
700.
convert 100 to
11
decimal.
200. That's
One.
700.
Please don't turn my class to a market, please. Thank you very much. 700 is correct. I don't know what you're doing. 700 is correct.
I think it's because
I
zero
remove the
0.1.
Remove
Instead
the
of
Supposed to be
0.1.
72 over 0.96
1.
now.
And you
That's very fun.
Better now. Anyways. So your interest on subsidized loan. What is the percentage of our subsidized loan?
0.75.
Huh?
2.2.
What's the interest on interest?
I
Interest
said
on it.
30 basis point below the risk-free rate.
You said 30 basis points below what?
Below
So what is it? So what is the normal borrowing rate? 2.5, Abi?
2.5.
So what's
Normal
30,
borrowing rate is 5.
what's 30 basis? What's 30 basis points?
0.3.
0.3.
So what do I have?
0.75.
That's how now. 2.5 minus 0.3.
2.2.
So what is now? So let's now do my annual interest. So that means this is the amount of interest I'll be paying on subsidized loan. So if we now say annual interest equals to that's how much. So we are doing our don't forget we are using our gross finance required. I've told you. So you now say 672 million times 2.2%. What do I have?
$14.8.
14.8. 14.8. So next now the tax shield on interest. Tax shield on tax shield. So what's our tax rate? So you're saying 14.8 times what?
30%.
0.30. What do I have?
4.4.
4.4.
Normally, you're supposed to do what's the name now? You're supposed to do PV. You're supposed to do PV of the interest using your cost of debt with 4 years. But the problem why I cannot do it from years because our tax on this particular interest, this tax that is being paid, is not paid yearly. It's paid year by what's the name? A year delay. So we already have 5 years. So we'll now do that thing that was happening on the group chat one time. So we'll now calculate 5 years, subtract year one, so that we can have the exact number of years. So I don't want to do that yet. That's why I'm not doing it yet. So leave this figure here, 4.4. So the next one is tax on subsidy, Abi. So you say subsidy. So what's our savings on subsidy? Because it's savings on subsidy equals to what was the rate that was normal market rate?
5%.
5% minus, I think government is giving us at 2.2, Abi.
Yes.
2.2%. So what do I have?
2.8.
2.8.
2.8%. So you now say, but this question is still a little different. It's different because it's government that is giving us everything, basically. There's no percentage now. Is it telling you that 60% of something or 40%? There's nothing like that. If it was like that, I would have taken 60% or 40% of this thing, depending on which it is. But this question is government that is actually giving us basically everything. It's just giving us at a different rate. So this is savings on subsidy. So you now say annual. So annual, what's the annual interest you'll be paying now? So you now say annual now. Somebody's unmuted, please, and the person is disturbing me. Now say annual savings. Somebody's unmuted and is disturbing me. Okay. So you will now say annual savings. So you now say because government is the one giving us everything, 672 multiplied by 2.8%. What do I have?
18.8.
Sir, I want to ask a question before we continue, sir, on this.
18.8.
15 point
18.8.
18.8.
0.8.
18.8 million. Please, I'll take all questions later, please. So, if you
It's
do
what we are
18.8,
it's what
is my figure wrong?
there's a clause that the government is subsidizing 6 to 12 million. The government is subsidizing
Government
just
is
6 to 12
subsidizing.
million.
Where is it?
Okay, the entire cost of the investment, that's after the inflation numbers. The next
Inflation,
paragraph
sir.
after the inflation numbers, yes.
The output of the investment is to be financed by government subsidy. Oh, God of mercy. What have you put down for me?
That's why they are calling you since morning.
Oh, this 670 is not what we should have used now. It's only 612 they are subsidizing, it's not the entire money now. So it's not the 670, even from this gross finance F, even from this issue cost. Wow. 612, what do I have?
637.5.
637.5. So what was my issue cost?
25.5.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. So 612 times this one, what do I have?
13.5.
Everything is 612 you will use. Now you cannot use 672 again because they've told you that is the amount. That is the amount you are going to use. That is it's because of the question. That is why it's structured like that. What do I have here?
13.5.
13.5.
So 13.5 times this. What do I have?
17.1.
4.0. In fact, 4 million.
Thank you very much, sir. Now you save me up. I'm sorry for do this thing and for Congo they show na lecturer for center because yeah, this man don't know anything. Thank you, sir. I think I'll start reading these questions very well before I come. So maybe I'll be solving itself. So this one is 612 times 2.8. What do I have?
Savings. Savings is 17.1.
So hear me.
17.1.
I've passed there now. It's not this one.
No, this one that we're using 2.8. Annual savings subsidy.
2.8 or 612.
17.1.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So you now do tax, Abby. What do I have?
5 million.
5 million.
Yes.
Please note, it's the question that is determining what we are doing. No, please. If the question had, let me tell you what the question. Normal APV. As I said, go and check those ones we've done first. Normal APV. If we had 60% subsidized loan, maybe they told us expressly in the question that okay, we went to the bank and we collected 40% of the loan. It would have been different. Then we could have done our normal interest. Now I told you we could do PV of interest and PV of subsidy. That would have been that particular interest. That would have charged that one normal tax. Then this subsidy would have been charged post tax. Would have been 1 minus tax rate. But what I'm saying is because we don't have the whole money is the one government is giving us. The whole 612 is what government is giving us. So we don't necessarily need to do anything else again. We don't need to start. So that's what we are working with. It's the question that is telling us what we are doing. So for the PV, so you now say PV. Somebody's unmuted, please. PV of financing effect. Now, so you now come here, you say items. Last one, you say year. Abi, and now you say year. You now say let me call it cash flow. Let me call it cash flow. Let me call it cash flow. What do I call this one now? Let me call it present. No, let me call it discount factor. Discount factor. We have our PV, abi? Good. So the first one is issue cost. Don't forget, I told you your issue cost is always charged when?
Yeah, 0.
Issue cost is here 0.
0.
What's the amount of our issue cost?
28 million.
25.5 money. No, we've changed the figures now, madam.
Yes, 25.5.
Miss Chika, we have changed the
Sorry,
figures.
sir, I didn't know we changed it. So what figures did we use, please? Sorry, please. Let me follow suit.
Madam, you're part of people calling figure for me. See it here now,
I didn't know.
25.5. We changed, they said,
37.
the question says that the government is subsidizing 612 for us. So 612 we are basically going to use for the old question. So we change this our net amount. It's not going to be 672 again that we now gross. Now it's now 612. Is the question that says it now. The entire cost of the investment, 612 million. The entire cost of the investment. Listen to me. Let me come again. Normally, if it was a normal question that is not like this, we could have used our initial outlay plus our working capital. We would have raised it and moved on. But the question says the entire cost of the investment and help you put this amount there. The examiner that kept it there knows what he's doing. You know. What he's trying to tell you is the entire cost of the investment should just be the initial outlay. Don't do this. Don't go and add anything to it again. Just use it like that. Because they already told you here, new investments will require 612 million. They already gave you the initial outlay. They already gave you the working capital. If the examiner wanted you to use 672 together, he would have come here and said the entire cost of the investment 672 million. Or be silent with the figure. Do you get? Or it will be silent. It will just say it will not give you the 612 million. It will just be silent because he knows that what you are supposed to use is supposed to be your initial outlay plus your working capital. But the examiner, being a very wicked examiner, did not want you to use 672 million, just wanted you to use 612. That's why I kept it there abstractly. That 612 million should be the entire cost. So what it means is this 612 million is the gross finance required. Like that, that's the meaning. 612 is the gross finance required. So the first thing we now did was we raised this 612. We did this to get our gross finance raised, which is 637.5. We charge our finance cost on it. We got this. So interest on subsidized on that particular loan, 612 is the subsidized loan now. So they said they were going to give us a 3% less. Was 3% less what? 30 basis points below the risk-free rate. Our risk-free rate was 2.5, and 30 basis points was 0.3. So this one we had 2.2. So our annual interest that we are going to be paying on this particular loan now is 17.1. Tax shield on it 0.3 times 17.1 is 4 million.
That is not correct.
5.
That is supposed to be 13.5, not 17.1.
17.5.
13.5. Then this one will now be 13.5 times 0.3.
Which is 4.1.
Does it change?
4.1.
Okay. Thank you. So we now do tax shield on this particular amount. So, but like we still need to calculate the subsidy. Don't forget how much are we actually subsidizing. If we go to the bank, normal bank rate would have been 5%, and the government has decided to give us as 2.2. So we are saving 2.8. The annual savings on this thing, so 2.8 times. So this is the total amount we are saving. Abi, is this correct? 17.1, is it correct?
Yes.
So we are saving 17.1. So tax savings on this particular 17.1 now is 5 million. Abi? So now let's now come here. So next now you now say tax shield. This is why I did not want to do that thing abstractly. So you now say tax shield on loan. Make sure I will not move all these things to this side. So here now, this one's here is year 2 to 5. It will not be year 1 to 4 now, because tax of this year was paid next year. The tax was paid in delayed now. Yes or yes?
Yes.
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 Since in delayed, it will not be tax of year 1 will be paid in year. So that's why we have 5 years. So you now do year 5 minus year 1. So what you now what's my loan? What's the value of my loan? 4.1, Abi. You say 4.1. That's the cash flow now. 4.1, Abi. So, but the discount factor now. So you now do annuity now. You use your cost of debt. Let me write it here. Discount factor at what's my cost of debt?
5%.
5%. That's my cost of debt, please. You say don't for yourself. God, I very good. So you now use annuity. Then do annuity with 5% year 1 to 5. Write it down. Do normal discount factor of year 1. You will now subtract that year 5 from year 1. So you will get year 2 to 5. That's how we do it. If somebody asks this question also on the group chat, I used to see it and not just the always answer. So you do year 1 to 5. Do annuity. Write the figure down. Do normal discount factor of just year 1. So you subtract year 1 to 5 from year 1. So you get year 2 to 5 like that. What do I have? What do I have?
3.377.
Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
3 point what?
377.
Let me put star there so that people can check, so that people will know, so that people will notice that there's something there that is not normal discount factor. You will do year 1 to 5 annuity.
Now why are we using 5%?
You will always discount your PV of financing effect with cost of debt. Now, this is the 1 trillion time I'm saying it. Always discount your PV of financing effect with cost of debt. And cost of debt, 5% is our cost of debt, is it not?
Okay, understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. See it here. Normally, but okay, people were thinking maybe we should have used 5.4. No, now 5.4 is for cost of capital, it's for proxy company, yet learning here. This is the normal amount that we should have borrowed at. This 5.4 is
I was
not.
thinking it's the difference. I was thinking it's the difference between the normal cost of debt and the government subsidized.
No. They will give you cost of debt, so 5%. So what do I have as my PV?
13.85.
13.84.
13.3.
85.
0.85.
So that's the first problem. The second problem solved. Third problem now. Let's do our subsidy. So we discount our subsidy, our normal subsidy. We also now discount our we'll now do our tax. We'll do our tax on subsidy also. So what I'm saying is the way the question is structured, that we are doing it like this. Please, if it's to cram this question, okay, let me give you guys let me give you guys one expo. This is how if you were me, listen to me, students, everybody. If you were in this class, listen to the sound of my voice. Listen now. This APV is an abnormal APV. Listen, no. This APV is an abnormal APV. Yes, it's a very, very abnormal APV. Now, what I want you to do for me is, somebody has sent the capital budgeting decision material to the group chat. Go and check the 2 APV we've done. Learn it. If you have any question regarding it, please, my DM is always open. Don't text my other number. But for my friend, I have my other number. Be texting my main number. This is revision week. That other number, for people that have tested, you say I take time to reply. It's the number it's the number on the platform. Text that one. Ask me your questions, please. So what I'm saying is, learn that APV. If you know that APV, that basics, any question you see, apply it to it. But you see this particular question, cram it. Check, bro. If it's to cram it, if it's to understand it, anyone you want to shall know this question. Why am I saying this?
It will come out in the exam.
I'm not saying it will come out in the exam. I don't know what will come out in the exam. But cram this question just in case. But learn normal APV, normally, know the basics. Everything I've told you, I've explained before. Apply it to those two questions I gave you earlier. You understand it. Those questions are not a problem. Those two things, just look at those ones. If you have any question, ask me. But this particular question, cram it or learn it. I've explained before, this is the only adjusted present value question ICANN has not tested from Mr. Molenyiwa's book. They've tested every other one. It's the only one they've not tested. So everybody has been anticipating this question for years. Nobody knows that it will come out. Me, I'm saying it will not come out. If ICANN wants students to actually pass because of change of syllabus, they will not bring this question. They should not. But it's their exam, it's their question. Anybody, if they bring anyone, so they can bring it out. So learn it. If it's to learn, if it's to cram. Anyone you want to do, just do it like that. Thank you very much. So let's go. So you say subsidy, so say tax on subsidy benefits, please. The tax on subsidy. Sorry, no, let me do subsidy benefits first. Let me do subsidy benefits first. So normal subsidy benefit to be okay, let me first finish. Subsidy benefit is year 1 to 4. Normally, that's the normal years of our subsidy. Now, how much is our subsidy? 17.1, Abi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's annuity for? What's annuity for it? Using cost of debt also. Yeah.
3.546. 546. Yes.
What do I have my business? It's not the same now. This one is year 2 to 5. This one is year 1 to 4. It will not give you the same time. What we calculated here, we calculated year 1. We calculated year 5. We not calculated year 1. So we subtracted it to give up. But this one is year 1 to 4 straight up. It will not be the same thing now. This one, what do I have?
3.546.
60.64.
4.
We are not done. No. We'll now do tax on subsidy. Now let me explain what we are doing to you. Hold on. Why is this one separate? Why is this one different? Why is it not? Why is different is your subsidy, you're supposed to discount your subsidy normally. But because this one tax is paid in arrears, we cannot use the same number of years that we are using to discount our subsidy to discount our tax that is paid in arrears now. Abi? And I've told you before that normally, because government is giving you money, it does not mean they will not collect tax on it. They will definitely collect tax on it. If it was a normal question, we would have just calculated our normal tax. If tax is paid in normal year, we would have just calculated our normal tax like that. We would have just, whatever figure we got, we would have just discounted it using since the number of years is the same thing, and the tax is not paid in arrears. That means the number of years for the subsidy is the same number of years for the tax. But for this question, the number of subsidy gongo is 1 to 4 years, but the tax that you are paying on that subsidy is not 1 to 4 now. The tax you are paying on that subsidy is 2 to 5 because tax is paid in arrears. So you now come here, you see tax on subsidy, you say 2 to 5. So what is the tax on subsidy? See it here, 5 million. Abi?
5 million. Yes.
There will be an outflow, it's tax now, it's going out. So it will be an outflow of 5 million. So this one will not be the same discount factor, 3.377.
It was 16.89.
16.89. 89. So what's my total for my PV of financing effect?
Minus 16.89 minus
32.1.
32.1.
Like this, have we?
Yes.
So these are our PV of financing effects. So we can comfortably go and calculate our what now? Our APV. So you now go back up. Say base case. Okay, sorry. So you come here, you will say APV equals, what's our base case MPV?
Minus 18.6.
Negative 18.6.
18.6. What's my PV of financing effect?
32.1.
32.1. So what's my adjusted value?
13.5.
13.5.
Million.
Equals to 13.5. No button, as simple as ABC.
Since morning.
Conclusion or comment, anyone? Should we accept or we should reject?
Accept.
Accept.
Accept, but
So, but like I told you, always learn to cook English. So if I were you, I would come here, you will say, although the project has a negative MPV, but if financed purely by I'm already answering question 2. It is worthwhile accepting the proposed project because it has a positive
APV
of 13,500,000 and it is expected to increase shareholders' wealth. Passport, I know you have question, yeah? I know you have question. So I will take question for the next 4 minutes. Please, while I'm taking question, somebody help me check any icon there that has this icon. If you know you're not asking me question, use icon past question. Check any use past question guide. Check any there that has international capital budget. Maybe I can solve that one fast. I have to go and work by 8. And before I leave the house, before I wear clothes like this. Oh yeah.
Can we ask the question?
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So you want to ask me question? Ask me fast, please.
Sir, please, and you know our total this thing was 672, but we had to pick 612 because of the one government is financing. That balance, we just ignored it, or it's because the question is silent about how they raise the other fund. That is why we are not bothered.
It's not we are not bothered, we are very bothered. But the question now is the question said the entire cost of the investment is this line and kept the entire cost of the investment there, 612 million. That's why we left the other one. If, like I said earlier, the question had told us that the entire cost. No, let me tell you something. This examiner that is a human being like me and you. He knows what he's doing. For him to say the entire cost of the investment, in his mind, he knows that the entire cost of the investment is 672 million, which is the initial outlay plus the working capital. He knows. But because he's the examiner, he has the power. He's not telling that what he wants for his entire cost of his own investment should be 612 billion. The rest no concern you. That is what he wants. There should be 612 million. That's why we ignored the working capital. But me, I'm not telling you that in an exam scenario where imagine he says the entire cost of the investment and he's silent about he did not put this figure there. Please use 672 million. If he says the entire cost of the investment and he did not put this figure here, please use 672 million. But because we kept this one there, that's why we changed. That's why we used 612 million.
Oh.
Is that fine?
Also, if he gives us percentage, you also apply the percentage.
Yes. If he tells you 60% for yes, just apply percentage.
Very well, sir. Thank you.
Adios, Stephanie. Fast. Okay.
Okay. I wanted to ask why we didn't use tax savings on capital allowance again. Is it because of the carrying forward of the losses?
Yes. Because of the losses, because we needed to adjust, we need to get like an adjust cash flow so that we can know, okay, which one are we actually carrying forward, which one are we using? Because that capital allowance is our capital allowance that will let us, you know, that normally what I'm saying is you can make profit or loss in your organization. That one is your business. But it's always tax problem because you cannot charge tax on loss. So we now need to calculate our capital allowance. So that capital allowance is what we would have used to reduce the profit, so that it's that profit that we charge our tax on. But for this question, they were making losses. So we need to calculate that capital allowance, use it to also deduct the loss so that we can get the adjusted cash flow, so that we can, okay, this is actually the cash flow they've made. They've actually made loss. It's not as if it's accountants that told us they've made loss. You get what I'm saying? What I'm saying is if you've worked in a tax practice before now, once you get to organizations, they can easily tell you they make profit, they can easily tell you they've made loss. But you go and use your capital allowance first to less it so that you get your taxable profit or taxable loss, so that you are sure that, okay, they've actually made loss. So in this one, so that's what we did when we subtracted the capital allowance to get our taxable cash flow. Then we now say, okay, they actually made loss in that particular question. I don't know if I'm clear to some extent, sure.
Yes, thank you. And also for the thing you said, November 2016 question 4 has international investment appraisal.
Okay, thank you. So somebody should open November 2016 question 4. Let's solve that. Uchena, please hear your question fast.
Okay, so sir, please, I'm still confused about the working capital aspect, because I was looking at what you
Sir,
solved.
can you increase your pace? You are using bedroom.
Can you hear me? No, sorry. I thought you like bedroom voice. Sorry. What we got in working capital is about 75.4, but I was looking at what I worked here. I'm getting 69.5. Can you please throw more light on the working capital aspect?
I don't tell you, my lights don't. I cannot be throwing light anyhow. So I don't know how.
Sorry, sir, but just explain some more. Not
like.
I
don't know how you got the figure you got now, but like this is the
okay.
Figure
Okay, what I actually did, the investment before the first year, which is year 0, was 60. Then I grew it by the inflation rate, raising it to the power
hold
of.
Hold on. Do you have this figure we have?
It differs from year 2, from the second year.
Check your calculation. I'm sure it's your calculation. Check that inflation rate. You are growing your 64.8 by the next inflation rate. Check your inflation rate and your calculation. I'm sure that's where the mistake is from.
Okay, thank you.
Don't go this 60 again. Oh, is this 64.8 you will now go next by the new exchange rate?
Okay.
I'm sure maybe that's where you could have made the mistake. You could have gone to go that 60 by the it's 64.8 you go by the new exchange rate.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. John, fast. We are.
Welcome.
I can hear you.
Yeah, my question is on cost of capital, please. I always get confused when to use capping when to use a Milan Modigliani
It's
method
information
and when
and
to
question
use.
that determines information and question. For this particular question, there was no information on beta. If you had beta, we could have gone to use our KPM successfully. But there is no asset beta, there is no equity beta, there is no even beta at all. So that's why we feel like, okay, the best way to do is to use Modigliani. But if there was beta, asset beta, equity beta, we'll do it normal way.
Okay.
Thank you. Debbie, your question, please, fast. People are raising up, and it's too much now. I need to solve another question. Yeah, Debbie,
Sir, please, let's start with the next question.
Just help us, sir, please.
Debbie, your question, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good
So
evening.
my question is on the 3.377 discount factor that was used. Can you please help with that?
What should I do with it?
When I calculated it, I was getting 4.33. I don't know how you got your 3.377.
Do annuity with 5. Do year 5. Do 5 years. Annuity 5 years. Write the figure down. Now do annuity. Do normal discount factor 1 plus R raised power minus N of year. Your N will now be year 1. Subtract that year 5 from that year 1. You will get 2 to 5. You will get this figure.
All right, thank you, sir.
You don't understand what got together already calling me. Oh yeah, Miss Edina, I can hear you. Hello? I come. Miss Edina, oh yeah, your question, fast.
You are on mute. Sir, in APV, does that mean that we use cost of equity to discount our cash flow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Always use cost of equity to discount your APV, please. Cost of equity ungeared, please. Mr. Audu, please, your question, fast.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I just wanted to elaborate on the effect of taxation on subsidy and interest. I heard you mention that it doesn't mean we won't pay tax on the money borrowed. I'm trying to comprehend that statement, because if I borrow money, how am I going to pay tax? Because I'm trying to look at it as a saving. But
listen to me, just hold on. Don't passive, don't look too much. If you are borrowing subsidy money from government, it's still like you are borrowing loan now. So don't you pay interest on it? You will still pay tax on it, even if it's from government. But the only thing is a tax allowable sum. So it's usually supposed to be post-tax. That is supposed to be. So once you are doing your interest, you charge tax on your interest normally. But once you are doing subsidy, you will charge it post-tax. You do it 1 minus 0.30. So you lessen the tax, but you are still going to pay tax. Do people even know why we do 1 minus 0.30? What we are trying to do is like a tax relief now. We are trying to relieve you of the normal tax. That's why we do that 1 minus tax, post-tax. We are trying to, it's not as if we are not paying tax. We are just, instead of you charging 30, when you charge 30% on something, and you charge 1 minus, so like that's just the difference. So, but for subsidy, we will do it post-tax normally. But this one is because of the question. The question for the post-tax, the tax is not paid on an annual year basis. That's why we have to now, do the PV separately. But the normal question, you would have just done your tax. But when you're calculating your tax, it would have just been the savings you've got. You just do it 1 minus 0.30, 1 minus like post-tax it. This time for this class, no do me at all. But anyways, that is just the story behind it. Check that, do it like this. Check those 2 questions that were just a present value of the material that was sent to the group chat. Look at it. Look at the question. Now solve it again. I've told you that's what you guys should do. I'm not going to take any question again for now. I will solve my international capital budgeting question. Like I said, those 2 questions I've given you in that past question, in that part final. Look at it. Understand the scenario. Based on what I told you earlier, do it like that. Do you get? But this next question, this particular question I gave you, cram it. It's not that hard. This one, cram it. Just the ones I've done. Just do it the way I've done it. Practice it like 2-3 times. It will stay in your hand. If it comes out like this, copy and paste. Fine. If it does not come out, move on. If it's normal APV, you will use the basic ones. Do you understand? The basic one you've learned from the normal one. Use it to solve that one. So that's just what I'm going to do. Somebody should read that November clinic for me fast, please.
You are the financial director of Kudu Limited, a Nigerian company that imports raw material mainly from Tico with TS as currency and exports finished product to Katagua with KS in dollar as currency. Kudu is partly financed by loan raised in the domestic market and usually hedges its foreign currency exposure by using the forward or money market. Most customers are allowed 3 months credit. The company has recently sold some products to a customer in Katuga for $20 million in Katuga. The following information is available. All figures are assumed to be correct. Central bank rates, all figures are assumed to be correct. Required, comment on the interest rate parity and purchasing power parity method for estimating exchange rate. 6 marks. In answering each of the following questions, include appropriate calculation where relevant to aid your discussion. I. As interest rates are higher in Nigeria than in Tico, should TS be depreciating against Naira, hence trading at a discount? I. What 3 months KS forward rate of exchange is implied by the information given? And therefore, what Naira receipts can the company expect in 3 months' time from the
Madam, which
customer
question?
in
Madam, which
Katuga?
question? Madam, wait.
You're not reading the right question.
Wait.
I don't understand though.
He's hedging.
Madam, you don't lost me. I was not here. I
No.
just come now. You did read another question. Somebody gave us one question. What was the year now? November 2016. I was in all the
Yes,
questions.
question 4. Can I read it?
Please read it. I don't know what
Share
you
it, oh, share it, I beg.
It's
Gudu
Google
PLC is
PLC.
a highly successful manufacturing company operating in Nigeria.
Sorry, November 2017. Oh, sorry.
Wow. Yeah, I'm listening to you, Jerry, Miss Patricia.
Is it November 2017 or
Is
2016?
that one you are reading? Leave Miss Chika. I don't know what she be do. Read my own
It's 2016, question 4.
Oh,
Gudu
Miss, I will
PLC
not
is a
solve this
highly
question again.
successful manufacturing company operating in Nigeria. In addition to sales within Nigeria, the company also exports to a foreign country within the current FX, along the ECOWAS sub-region. The export sale generates annual net cash inflow of 50 million naira. Gudu PLC is now considering whether to establish a factory in the foreign country and stop exporting from Nigeria to the country. The project is expected to cost $1 FS 1 billion or $1 million per $1 million, including 20 million for working capital. A stable existing factory has been located and production would commence immediately. A payment of $950 million will be required immediately, with the remainder payable at the end of 1 year. The following additional information is available: annual production, units price sales, unit variable costs, units royalty payable to Gudu PLC, incremental annual cash fixed costs. Assuming that the above cash item will remain constant throughout the expected life of the project of 4 years, at the end of year 4, it is estimated that the net realizable value of the non-current assets will be $1.4 million. It is the policy of the company to remit the maximum funds possible to the parents, that is Gudu PLC, at the end of each year, assuming that there are no legal complications to prevent this. If the new factory is set up and exports to foreign country is stopped, it is expected that new export markets of a similar worth in North Africa will replace the existing exports. Production in Nigeria is at full capacity and there are no plans for further capacity expansion. Tax on the company's profits is at rate of 40% in both countries, payable 1 year in arrears. A double taxation agreement exists between Nigeria and the foreign country, and no double taxation is expected to arise. No withholding tax levy on royalty payable from the foreign country to Nigeria. The tax payable, that is the depreciation in bracket, is at the rate of 25% on a straight line basis on all non-current assets. The director of Gudu PLC believes that the appropriate risk-adjusted cost of capital of the project is 13%. Annual inflation rates in Nigeria and the foreign countries are currently 5.6 and 10% respectively. These rates are expected to remain constant in the unforeseeable future. The current spot exchange rate is $1.6 to 1 naira. You may assume that exchange rate reflects the purchasing power parity theory. Required, evaluate the proposed investment from the viewpoint of Gudu PLC. Notes, show all workings and all calculations to the nearest million. State all reasonable assumptions. And B, state
Thank
two.
Continue. Finish it.
State two further information and analyze that and analysis that might be useful in the evaluation of these projects.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Patricia. Is your husband you married? Oh yeah. What's the name of the company? Oh, yeah.
My grandmother.
Google PLC.
Google.
Googie.
Googie PLC. GU.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, let me ask you guys a few questions regarding the question. What is the spot rate? What's the rate of that today?
Is 1.6 to 1 naira.
1.6 to 1 naira. In that situation, what is our base currency? What is our counter currency?
Naira is our base currency.
Naira is our base currency. Dollar is
That
our
one is
counter
1.6 is
currency.
That one is our counter currency. Good. Are we in Nigeria? Where are we?
We are in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
We are in Nigeria. So that particular quote now, what kind of quote is it? Is it a direct quote or is it an indirect?
Indirect quote.
Indirect quote. Direct quote.
Is it a direct quote or is it an indirect quote?
An indirect quote.
Direct quote.
Wow.
Direct quote.
So, is
It's a direct quote.
Is it people that I'm carrying to exam next week?
It's a direct quote.
Some people here are just saying, hold on.
Yes,
Don't
it's
you
direct.
just say rect. You shall not say direct, get rect, indirect, get rect. A rect quote. God is looking at you people. Is it a direct quote?
Indirect
direct quote.
Indirect quote. Nigeria is a base.
It's a direct quote.
Yeah.
Indirect at the
People don't
point
hear it's
B
okay.
of Google.
If anybody answer again, I will leave this kind. I will be going. People don't understand it's okay. I've asked you, people do not know it. Now let me ask again. What is the formula for a direct? What is a direct quote? Is you know when one unit of the foreign currency equals multiple units of the home currency?
Home currency one gives rise to many
When one
currencies.
unit of the foreign currency gives multiple units of the home currency, and we are in home.
It's direct.
It's the base currency that is giving us multiple units of the holding.
We can't hear you.
Sir, please help us mute everybody. They are disturbing class, I beg.
Minutes more.
muted. Please, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Number of years.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
the number?
4.
Is tax paid in arrears?
Yes.
Tax paid in arrears.
Yes, it's based in arrears.
Yes.
So let me just go and calculate my so let me come here and say workings. So let me calculate my I'll not finish this question. You guys will finish it by yourself. Your advanced audit lecturer is already calling me. Now you said is already calling me. So let me go and watch my 10 pictures. So I'll not finish this question. So let me just calculate your annual contribution. So I'll say from so where are we? Since we are in Nigeria now, so first of all, they would have so the meaning is now. Is it rocket science? Just keep your mic muted. Is it a problem? Huh. What was I saying now, by? Okay, because we are in Nigeria now. So what it means is they would have calculated their own profit in their own currency first. So is that profit that will now be changed or that will now be converted into our own currency? So what it means is they would have calculated it in their own currency. I think it's dollar now. I don't know, but we use dollar. So they have calculated it in dollar first. So it's whatever currency is whatever profit they get in this dollar, and they will now bring to Nigeria. Do you get? So let's just go and calculate our contribution or our annual sales. So so you come here, say workings on. Please, I will not finish this question. No, please. You guys will go and finish it yourself, then you send it to me. So annual sales. So what do I have? I think I have selling price. Abi? There's no goods now, so I don't need to be going.
Yes, you have selling price.
What's my selling price?
5,000 F dollars, or what they call it.
Just call it dollars, leave the F.
Okay.
My variable cost. What's my variable cost?
2,000. 2,000.
What is my do I have fixed cost?
Yes, sir. Incremental annual fixed cost.
Okay, but I cannot put my fixed cost here now because you don't need fixed cost to calculate contribution. I'm trying to get contribution. So you say annual
3,000.
contribution.
3,000.
What do I have?
3,000.
You say unit sold. What's our unit?
110,000. Annual project and sales.
So what's my annual sales?
330,000.
Sorry, sir. That variable cost should it be in jacket?
Put it in jacket in your book.
Okay.
Put in jacket in your book, sir. So this 330,000 is our annual sales. So let's take it here. So we are raising up to this. We should raise up to power of millions now, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
So what do I have for my sales then?
330 million.
So 330 for all.
Yes, please.
Now mystical cause is our delay. So first do 1 hour read one question first. So what do I have? 330.
330. 330.
So fixed cost. What's the grammar of fixed cost?
This cost is
50. Is it the incremental annual fixed cost is 50 million?
it was supposed to stop at year 4.
Don't come out time now. I've removed it now.
Okay, okay.
So what's my okay, next one I want to talk about now is don't forget. Next one is our royalties. I've told you, I explained to you when I was explaining royalties. It's part of a transfer pricing. What's the grammar on royalties? Yeah. What's the gamma
So
royalties?
in unit royalty payable to Gudu is 300 on
So
royalty.
300 naira.
Naira, yes. So
It's
300
300
naira.
naira, fine. But the thing is, you cannot come and subtract 300 naira from here now. You are doing your stuff in dollars. So you need to convert that royalty first before bringing it here. You need to convert that royalty first before bringing it here. Now, before you convert it, you need exchange rate. So you first need to predict your exchange rate. So you say calculation of exchange rate prediction. Like this. So what they say we should use? Purchasing power parity, I mean.
Yes.
Yes, there's inflation.
Your S1 equals to your SO multiplied by. If you're writing advanced audit, I'm very sorry, you go now. I'm not finishing this question, please. So you will now say 1.
So I think we solved this question before even.
We have solved it. We have solved it before. That was why I jumped to the next one.
I've solved it before. Where?
Yes, sir, in our normal class.
It's not you that solved it, it's the other. But we've solved this way.
He has not solved it yet. So
hold on.
Please, this is revision class, so not your normal class.
I beg, this is
How is hold on the problem in this class? If I say hold on, I'm just expecting everybody to just hold on and don't. It's adults now. We're adults here. If I've solved this question before, there is no point of solving it again. Listen, it's still me now. Anything that involves international capital budget, and I was a lecturer, is me that taught it. So what I would say is, watch our international capital budgeting video. Is on YouTube. Just watch it there, and I'm sure since they say I've solved it before, just watch it on the YouTube. The working note has been sent. There's no way I would have finished it anyways. Audit class is starting 8, and we are using the same Google Meet, so it would be dropped. So what I would do for you is, because I'm a nice person, I will go to the YouTube. I will try to generate just that particular link of that international capital budgeting class. I will generate it for you, and I will drop it for you. Then read it. You see where I solved this question. I solved about 2-3 questions there also. So watch that. Then use it to solve this question. Then if you still do not understand or you still have any question, please, you can come and ask me. I will gladly answer you. Thank you very much. So I would generate the link immediately after the class. I will send the working note also now. Let me send the working note now. Then please watch the recorded classes. Watch that class on YouTube. If you don't still understand, then reach out to me. Then I will generate the link. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you
very much, sir.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and good night.
Don't forget to pray for us. So
Don't worry.
Please.
When are we meeting again?
We are not meeting, K. You and who they meet again? We are not meeting again. No, I'm sorry.
This is the final class.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So
We will miss you.
Me, I will not miss you people, sir.
You better meet
We will miss
Yeah,
you.
We make you proud.
Don't miss me. I will not miss you too. For people that will miss me, I will miss you too, Jerry. I will miss all of you.
I'll miss you. I'll miss you.
Are you crying? Are you crying? Oh.
People are not serious in this class.
So we don't want to hear your voice again. No, we'll meet in induction set.
No, Wala.